I see Richard. Richard, go ahead.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, about me, I'm going to miss a lot about this camp. It has been a long journey, but we really thank God for taking this as far. Okay, for me, I'm going to miss the gymming team, the teachings that you have been giving us, and actually, I'm going to miss the way I liked making fun on somebody. So it's gonna be a problem to me because I will be bored every time. And the thing I will also miss is that I had great fun with you. Uh, Actually, after this time, I'm going to be idle since I'll be waking up, watching TV, nothing else till the school open.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we hope you, like I said, if you get too bored, visit the videos that we shared. The WhatsApp group will be there for you guys to continue interacting. And, I saw really nice riddles, tongue twisters. Yeah, I learned a lot from that group. So keep engaging and keep in touch so that we invite you in future engagements. Richie, are you ready to begin? I see Vanessa is here. Maybe John could join us as we continue. Richie, if you're speaking,
Yes.
you're muted.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, judges, for joining us. Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome, Nelson, and welcome everyone else. This is great. So let me just start sharing my screen. John will be joining us soon. He's just finishing up on something else real quick. Give me a second. I'm having technical hitches. Okay, I hope people can see my screen.
I can see it.
Nice. Thank you. So yeah, welcome everyone. Today is the final day of the Innovate Kenya Virtual Camp, or the Innovation Challenge Virtual Camp, run by GMIN. And it's been a great 2 weeks. It's been a busy 2 weeks. Today, we'll be hearing from the finalists about what they've worked on their project, and just also for them to get an opportunity to get external feedback from the judges that we invited. So yeah, I'd like to welcome everyone for this online event. We hope it'll be worthwhile. And my name is Richard Biko, or Richie. I also mostly go by Richie, and I'm the program manager for the Innovation Challenge program at Global Minimum. And I'll like to share a bit. Like to share a bit about the schedule for today. So the overview, we're not so bad on time, but I'll do the welcoming remarks really quick, and then I'll introduce the judges, and then we'll have the first 7 teams present. Let me just get my notes here. We'll have the first 7 teams present, and then we'll have just a short 5-minute break, and then we'll come back at around 11:20, or depending on the time then, and then we'll finish up with the last projects, not the last project, but the remaining projects. And then afterwards, we'll have an award ceremony and the vote of thanks from one of our finalists as well. So just to share a bit about GMIN, Global Minimum is a youth nonprofit organization that supports young leaders, innovators, and changemakers in Africa. We are based in 2 countries currently, in Sierra Leone and Kenya, and we run innovative programs for them to unleash their potential. And we believe that the youth have limitless potential and provide enabling environments and access to programs that encourage you to collaborate with one another, think critically, to develop solutions to challenges they've identified in their communities. And this is mostly through this Innovation Challenge program that we're currently hosting. And all the while we'll build the confidence for them to communicate their ideas and providing continuous feedback and mentorship. In addition, we also utilize STEM and project-based learning. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, to equip our students with design thinking skills, digital literacy, as well as entrepreneurship skills. So today we're all gathered here to highlight these young voices and their dreams for a better future and celebrate them. This week has been a busy one, full of activities and workshops. And one of the first workshops that we had was an introduction to human-centered design, where learners were challenged to design and make a gift for their peers and also empathize with the users. The value of this workshop is to task learners with the mindset of who they're making their solution for and how they can improve it by getting feedback. We then also got an opportunity for the young people to learn about the importance of prototyping and team dynamics through another fun design activity called the Build a Tower Challenge. And this activity, like young people, like our young leaders got materials from their home area and designed a tower. And these are some of the photos from like the sessions and what they were able to create from their homes. And also as, we also got an opportunity for them to have a leadership clinic. These sessions are usually for them to have an opportunity to hear about how they can find their vision and purpose in life. And we invited one of our alumni called Eugene. He's a storyteller, a poet, an environmentalist. He came to share about how he came out of the program and was able to find his vision and purpose for changing his community for the better. As with life, guidance and mentorship is important, and at GMIN, we make sure to provide mentorship for the teams that participate in the camp. The mentors range from young and experienced professionals, engineers, entrepreneurs, and inventors, and they dedicate a lot of their time to help the students in their learning journey as young change makers. They get to investigate, learn and work with the teams in rapid prototyping, as well as give them feedback on their presentation. We also got a really unique opportunity to be part of the first ever Tinkering World Tour, which is an online global event for makers, tinkerers, and educators. And we had an opportunity to also play around with some of the materials we find in our houses to make portraits. And as I mentioned before, this was a global event, and we had people, and GMIN was able to partner with the Wonderful Idea Company. And we had people from all over the US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, and Japan tuning in for this event. So you see like the funny faces, that's what we're able to design and create during the session. We also had an opportunity for the young people to learn about how they can make their projects sustainable. And we invited one of our long-term partners called IntelliCap to lead our learners through a session called the Business Model Canvas. And they got tips on what to think of if they get to the next stage of the idea, but also an opportunity to just know what and how businesses are run and what are the key elements in making their ideas sustainable. At this point, I'd like to introduce our judges, and I'll just read their bio real quick. And our first judge is Vanessa Indiani, and she has a passion for empowering young people, especially girls in both STEM and innovation fields, whether as a member of a high school science congress team or advocating for students' ideas as part of the campus student council at Strathmore University. She's been on an innovation empowerment path from the start. The reason she likes getting people excited about the things that she's excited about. And right now, that's Young Scientist Kenya. She enables secondary school students to create interest in and excel at science, as well as provide a platform for the young people from across all the counties here in Kenya to demonstrate their capacity for innovation by showcasing their scientific talents and equipped students with skills needed to succeed in the 21st century workforce and as entrepreneurs who can lead to an increase in productivity and drive economic growth. Outside the office, she's committed to mentoring young innovators and volunteering her skills at Wezesha Binti Foundation as she tries out data science and business analytics. She lives the sweaty life and will probably recruit you to join her for a dance class or to shoot a few hoops. Thank you so much for joining us, Vanessa. And also just to mention, Young Scientists Kenya has been one of the long-term partners for GMIN, and we usually partner to do outreach and promote science, technology, and innovation across Kenya. Our second judge, I'd like to welcome him. His name is Nelson Komba, and he's a social innovation expert with skills in designing innovation management tools. He has been trained on innovation management and has in-depth expertise in design thinking, product innovation and design, service innovation and design as well, and business model innovation and design. He has a huge interest in education and skills development, and he seeks to see an education system that produces skilled, top-notch industry experts ready for the complex labor markets. Nelson is also a United Nations volunteer at Shaping Horizons core innovation team, and also a YALI East African alumni. YALI stands for Young African Leadership Initiative, and currently he serves as Metis Events and Community Building Lead. Thank you, Nelson, for joining us. The last judge that we have is John. John has over decades experience communication for impact, creative collaboration, human-centered design, and social innovation with a bias towards youth. As an educator and entrepreneurial leadership expert, he has worked with youth-facing teams, including Junior Achievement, Diamond Challenge, Innovate Kenya, Technovation Challenge, and Startup Africa to equip young people with skill sets and mindsets to build their creative confidence while experimenting and innovating from the ground up. He's driven to unearth win-win strategies that deliver meaningful learning and sustained value for young people. As the program lead, John curated and established the award-winning entrepreneurial leadership program at the M-Pesa Foundation Academy, a groundbreaking startup education initiative that seeks to produce transformative leaders who are change agents in their fields of interest in Africa. As the founder, he leads Idea Hut Africa, an entrepreneurship enabling social enterprise where he supports youth to de-risk their ideas, sharpen their entrepreneurial skills, and access resources to launch and grow their ventures. Currently, as organizational growth advisor at GIZ Kenya, John is co-creating with youth innovative agribusiness solutions that help them scale their enterprises. John is a certified social impact strategist from Schools of Social Policy and Practice at the University of Pennsylvania, Social Innovation Fellow at Starting Block, and a certified design thinking educator from D School at Stanford University. So that's all our judges that will be giving feedback for teams. And if they're on the call right now, I wonder if they can just turn on the video and just wave at everyone and just say hi before I go on to the next session. Let me just pause my share. Vanessa, are you available? Like, you can just turn on your video and just wave to everyone, just say hi so everyone can see you.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Not expecting to turn on your video. It's okay.
Oh.
If you're in the position. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just try. I hope it's, yeah, okay. All right, can you see me? Okay, yeah. Hi everyone. I hope I'm trying to really ensure everything comes in. Vanessa, I think Richie, read everything about my life. I didn't think I would start. Normally I'm used to ladies first but men before, but I shall take this opportunity and represent all the ladies and girls who are in this specific session. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm very eager to see what the young innovators and future leaders have in store for today. So all the best to everyone.
Nice, thank you, Vanessa. You did well. Nelson, do you mind just saying hi to everyone?
Hello, can you confirm that my voice is audible and clear?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Nelson Komba. I've got a huge interest in seeing businesses turning into successful ventures that can employ people and turning into profitable ventures that can improve our economy. And I want to believe that starts with young people and the ideas that they have. And that's the reason I'm here today. I just want to see what you've got on the table. And if it is something that is worth listening into, it's something that can turn around and eventually lead into something that can improve our economy in our country also. And there can also create opportunities for people like you to work into. So today I'll be here with you to see what you've created for us. And I'm happy to be invited here also. I have worked with a few organizations in the same, and I'm glad to be part of it today.
Nice, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Nelson, and we're so happy to have you join us today. I don't know if John has been able to join the call. John, are you on? You can just briefly.
Yeah.
Nice, great.
Hey everyone. Unfortunately, my video has some issues. Technology fails us most of the time when we need it. Maybe at the break, it's when I'll sort it out and then I will show my face up. So I'm happy to be here with all of you today. I'm always excited about innovations and what young people are doing to improve lives of people in their communities. And I'm here to enjoy the presentations and give feedback on how we can make our communities better through your innovation. So thank you, everyone. Yep.
Nice, thank you so much, John, and glad you could join us. I hope you can be able to fix the the technical issues, but if not, it's fine. We're just really glad that you're part of this. So yeah, those are our judges. Thank you so much again. And let me just continue with sharing my screen. I hope everyone can see. So we'll just give a bit about the presentation and guidelines. So teams will have 5 minutes to present. And then after the 5 minutes, one judge, or if there's enough time, one judge or two judges can be able to give any feedback. There won't be enough time to do like follow-up conversations or like a dialogue between the judges and the teams. So I'll encourage the teams to really take down the notes, take down the feedback in note form that the judges are giving. And for the feedback judges, the students are pitching, and even though we call them finalists, all of them are winners. So all of them will be getting awards. So this pitching is more for them to see like how they can be able to take their projects, their ideas to the next level. So the feedback you give them is to like really help them like think critically on how like they can continue, and things to think about like as they proceed with their projects in the near future, and if they want to apply to other opportunities that support young leaders and innovators in Africa. Yeah. So with that, I think I'll switch over to my colleague, Brenda. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Brenda, are you on?
Thanks, Richie. Like everyone, we've been practicing, so I just want to celebrate you first, even before you start. I know some of you are nervous. I've been getting inboxes from you. I'm so nervous. What can I do? Relax. You've got this. Like you guys have been doing this the entire 10 days. So we really just want to celebrate you today. So, you know, if you hit a rock somewhere, just take a minute, take a deep breath and continue. I hope you've checked your teammates are here, and we are going to begin now with the accident response system. I'll be sharing my screen to help present your slides. And if you feel like I need to go to the next slide and I'm not with you, just give a shout out to me and I'll do that for you. Are we ready? Can I see a thumbs up? Celebrations? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Tritech, you guys can start. Doreen, you can help them with the timekeeping. Just check the time so that we alert them when it's time's up. Kelvin, go ahead.
Hello? Hello? Can everyone
Yes,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, let me confirm if my team members are here. Okay. We are presenting on the accident response system that is Kelvin Max Thomas. So my teammates, please.
Ian, are you here?
I'm
Kelvin,
Frank.
yeah, you can, the two of you can proceed.
Okay.
Okay, I think then I'll proceed alone if they're not here. Okay, we are presenting about the accident response system. For a long period of time, many people lost their life. That it is because of the road accident, but because it is the late response from the response team that is the this problem. We decided to come up with this project where it will help notifying the policemen and the hospitals about an accident that has just occurred. So next slide, please. Next slide. The system will be, we are going to use Arduino, GSM module, GPS, an accelerometer, and a piezo sensor. Now, this how it works. It will be fitted, the system will be fitted in cars. In case the car has an accident, the accelerometer will detect the sudden stop of the car, or the impact sensor will detect the kind of at the hospital interface and the government where the accident has taken place and how to respond to it. Now, next slide, please. Next slide. Next. Okay, now this what we are thinking. These are, we also have the GSM and the GPS. We also have the hospital, the police, and also the firefighters, because these are the common response team that we know of accidents. Now, when an accident occurs, the impact accident, then through the GSM and the GPS, a notification, a real-time notification will be sent to the hospitals, the police, and the firefighter, showing the location and the time that the accident had happened. Next. Next slide, please. Next.
Kelvin, I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a minute to reflect on your side.
Hello. Hello.
I can hear you, Kelvin. You can
Next slide, please. Next slide.
Jump in because unajua hamko. Yeah, na present hizi atajua.
Hello.
Hello. Maybe I'll help Kelvin continue.
Sure, Frank. Do you want me to go back to your target market?
No, we'll just continue from here.
Okay.
So our target streams are we are targeting the public because everybody is using the road transport network. So we are targeting everybody, but our main target are the police and the hospitals and the fire departments. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, so our project will cost us an estimated cost of around 50,000 Kenyan shillings to just install everything in each and every car and have our receivers in each and every police station and hospitals ready. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as I said earlier, we are targeting the police, hospitals, car manufacturers, and insurance companies. So the police will have the receivers to get the notification of the accident, and for the hospitals, they'll get information on how fatal the accident is and the number of casualties. So for insurance companies, we'll have also a SD card. Kevin forgot to mention that. The accelerometer will have all the information on how the accident occurred. So the insurance company will be having a stored information so that the insurance company can use them for investigations. Next slide. So currently our competitors there's one project we came across. Basically, currently in our modern cars today, we have systems that can easily stop an accident because some cars they have like an automated brake system when a vehicle is almost coming into an accident. So that's our main competitors.
I can pick from them.
Our accident response system will be better because it will relay
the partners
information.
you have already said you are trying to partner with our partnerization is divided into three. That is the BTG, that's the business to government. You are targeting the police and the hospitals. You have the B2B, the business to business. You are targeting the insurance companies and the circles, and also business to consumers. You are targeting the personal car users who can afford the system and for their own safety. Yeah, thank you. I think being the first presenter had some issues, some tension. Thank you.
Okay, Kelvin, don't worry about that. I think there's a connection issue on your side, and maybe you weren't able to get the transitions to the slides in time. So I think we'll allow one judge to give feedback besides just the overall. Frank, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, in case of any questions, I'll be able to answer them, please.
Okay, so for this session, like Richie said, you don't have to answer the questions that are posed, are thrown to you immediately. These are things you can think about when you're improving your product, since you've had like really limited time and you're yet to start prototyping. So don't worry so much about answering the questions. Is there a judge who wants to give feedback for this team? Just 1 minute.
Yeah, I can give them feedback.
Okay, go ahead, Nelson.
First of all, I want to thank them. They have done good. I like the idea. first of all, there's actual identification of a problem, and that is great. There is an effort to identify the solution. That is great. And then there is an effort to find a way to get into the market. That's great. Those are like the components for a business. You have to identify a challenge, then you look for a solution, then you look how you go to the market. Maybe one of the areas I would like to give them constructive feedback will be on the market. I don't know how they did their market analysis, because how would they reach to the car owners and the insurance industries themselves? They have what they call the policies. They have what they sign before they are given that particular insurance cover and everything. I don't know how they aim to receive how they aim to get their money from that particular analysis. So they are aiming to get money from the car owners, or they aim to get their money after it is deducted from insurance, from at the insurance level. In short, do you aim to be paid subscription from the car owners, or do you aim to get your money from the insurance? So who are you targeting? Because those are two different entities. Because if you are going to target the car owners directly, that means you have to have a system that will have to give you subscription either monthly or something like that. What kind of subscription are you putting in between? So whether it's monthly or it's yearly, or are you going to get subscription from the insurance companies, so that once they are going to get the cover, then your product is also added in the insurance cover. Then you get your package at the end of the, maybe once they pay. I think that did not come out very clearly. And then also on the hospital part of it, I think you need to be specific when you say hospitals, because they are not all hospitals. They may be in a capacity to do that. Some are in a very rural places. So you also need to like categorize what are you talking when you say hospitals. There are those that have the capacity to have an ambulance. There are those that don't have an ambulance per se. So like where I'm coming, I'm right here, I'm in the village. Like in my next dispensary, I've never seen an ambulance. So when you say that you're going to notify like them, they even don't have an electricity first of all. So where are you going to put your GPS to relay that information? Then maybe lastly is on their costing. I think the costing is too low. 50,000 is very low, because if I look at the market you're targeting, is a big market, and the advertisement is also big. And I also think the costing is too low, because you also you cannot only rely on GPS, you also need to have a system that can also send an SMS. I think the SMS is too direct, like you can notify too directly. And then maybe lastly, what if in an accident your product, you're saying, also gets collapsed, that it cannot send the message? What are some of the complications have you seen in between the transaction? Or sometimes it can just be a minor accident that maybe whatever the product says, it sends a message that it is not responsive maybe to that. What are some of the things you have to analyze? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nelson, for that. Those insights. I hope your team is taking notes, because, like I said, these are ideas that are supposed to help you improve. Even for those who will go ahead into the market, you asking these questions as you're improving your product. And I did realize that you didn't finish your presentation, Thomas and Kelvin, and I know maybe there are challenges with internet and so on. So for the other teams, I would encourage you, even if maybe there's an internet problem and the slides are lagging, maybe since you've practiced, just go ahead and say, the next thing you want to say, and I'll try and catch up with you. Someone says judges should give their feedback after we all finish. Don't be scared to get direct feedback for your project. This feedback is so that every team can get their feedback immediately, so that, you know, when we keep information for so long, we can forget. So this is just to ensure you get your feedback immediately. It's thought of. And the judges, please make sure to take notes. For example, right now, only Nelson gave his feedback. So Vanessa and John, feel free to note it down and you can send it to us. We'll forward to the teams. I hope that's clear. So the next team we have is MobiBlood. MobiBlood, I hope you guys are ready. MobiBlood, Amir, Colin.
So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Go ahead.
So, our project is called MobiBlood, and it was developed by I and Collins. Next slide. So, the WHO estimates 5 million people die each year due to injury and violence. A further 506,000 women die each year due to blood loss during pregnancy or childbirth. And this is the problem that our project focuses on. So we see some background research on the project. The Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service collected only 16% of the 1 million units required. That was last year. This was a 3-year low. Then this pushed most Kenyans to social media, which is not the most reliable source to get blood donors. So next slide.
Amir, are you with us? Or you're now on your solution slide? Amir, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can anyone hear from Amir? Am I the only one?
I can't hear him.
Collins?
He's still on the call, but he's on mute.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're seeing, next slide.
Do you want to skip your solution slide?
I've already talked about the solutions. I don't know if you got it. So this is how the application will look like. We have several pages of the application, that is the recipients, the facilities, the donors. So next slide. Our target market, we target at least 80% of the Kenyans who require blood transfusion services. And thank you. Next, Collins can continue from there.
Okay, hello everyone. I think you can hear me now.
Yes.
So on the revenue streams, our project will be getting the fundings from the blood recipients who will be using our services. They'll be charged a small fee of 20 bob, which is affordable. And also we will have the MobiBlood Society, which will be free for anyone to join. So you'll have to pay a membership fee. And at last, our revenue streams fundings also will get from the advertisements. Maybe a company, individual want to advertise on our application, we'll have to pay some fee for it. And so on the cost structure, our project in order to come to full, so we needed the internet connection, which costed around 5,000. We needed a laptop for the making or building the application, which cost around 20,000. We needed a Play Store account where we can now market our application and ready for the use to the people. It cost around 3,000 for, again, the marketing of our project in the brochures, in social media like Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. It cost around 7,000. So the total sum up cost to 35,000. Our partners, we are likely to partner up with the government body, the NBTC, National Blood Transfusion Center, which is a government body that deals with the blood transfusion and blood donation in Kenya. We also have the non-governmental body, which is the Kenya Red Cross Society. And at last, the United Nations body, the World Health Organization, that deals with the health of the whole world. Now, on the competition, we currently have some 3 competitors, one of them being the Life Blood Bank application and the Blood Donor app, but currently 4 of them are located in India, so the services are not available here in Kenya. And also you have the government body, the NBTC, which is in Kenya, but it do not have an application, it's have a website. And the mobile blood is better because it is affordable to all Kenyans, since you can see the fee for using our services is only 20 bob. Also, it is easily accessible to the all Kenyans, since we just need a phone and it's good to go now to use our application. So our future plans is we are planning now to expand our project to work now in the whole of Africa and to help the people in the African continent. And also the next future plan is not to provide now with the transport services of the blood from the hospitals, blood banks, donors to the blood recipients who want to use the blood. And at last, our funding team, we have Amir Gitonga, who is a team leader of this project. I myself, Collins Ndereba, I'm the designer. We have again Elias Minaming, the designer, and at last our loving mentor, Cynthia Kamau. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was a really powerful finish there. I want to invite also one judge, maybe preferably not Nelson, because he's already given feedback, maybe from John or Vanessa. You can give general feedback to this team, and the other judges, you can note it down, then add it to what you send to us.
This is John here.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I would like to give feedback. Thank you for MobiBlood. It's an idea that I think its time has come. As you've indicated from your data, 71% of normal Mwananchi don't have access to blood, especially when they need it in the remote areas. Aligned to the idea of saving lives, I think it's very timely. And I just thought about it personally. If I need blood right now, I don't know where I can get information about where to go to. So having that information readily available through an app is very timely. So congrats the team for thinking deeply about a need in the community. And that is timely. Just one comment I will give now about your costing. If it's an app and it's involving a large amount of data from different sources, then you will need some costings for hosting the data somewhere. So it's also important to include that in your calculations for the costs of what you need at the very beginning. Otherwise, thank you for good work. Looking forward to see your idea come to life.
Wow, thank you, John. And your user interface is very beautiful. I'm in love with it. So I can't wait to see the whole app implemented so I can interact with it. The next team we have will be the insect-based protein feed. Dennis Munene, I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
You can start.
Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you clearly.
So our project is insect-based protein feeds. As you hear the name, suggests the feeds are made from the insects. Next slide, please. On the problem, so we identified that they are in the market which are of low quality, and also there is high cost of the feed ingredients like the soybeans, which this problem has led to low growth of poultry and fish farming. Next slide. The background research. Yeah, so we recognize that insects have a high nutritional value and are also eco-friendly. This is causing a high demand price on them. So the insects can be reared on a wide range of ways, making use of materials that may be disposed of by agricultural and food industries, which are used as bait to attract the insects. Next slide, please. On the solution. So we are planning to develop insect-based protein feeds. So the organic waste will be used as bait to attract the houseflies. So the fly larvae convert the waste into high protein biomass by feeding on it. So the fly larvae are dried and then are mixed with other complements like maize flour to make pellets, which are used to feed the animals. So the technique that we are using is suitable for all category of farmers, both the small scale and the large scale. Next slide. The target market is the poultry and livestock farmers. So the poultry farmers will hold the major segment will be like our main market, and also we have a market from the waste companies who will be paying so that we dispose of their waste. Next slide. The revenue streams. So by selling the animal feeds, we earn, and also organic waste disposal companies that will be paying us so that we dispose their waste, and there is the organic fertilizers from the residues after the larvae has fed on the organic waste will be sold to the farmers. Yeah. The cost structure. So the cost structure is 2 buckets, each at 200. Also PVC pipe, like for around 2 feet, that is for 200, and the organic waste, that is 200. That is a total of 800. And also the human resource, the staff who will be carrying out the activity of producing. Next slide. Next slide, please. On the partners. So we are aiming to partner with the poultry and livestock farmers by selling the feeds to them, and also the private sectors like the Synergy Limited and the Kenya National Innovation Center, and also the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock and the food and agricultural organizations. Next. The competition. So in the competition, we have other existing farms like the Moja Feeds, but we aim at establishing dominance over them by creating more contact with the farmers by using CBOs and providing subsidies. This is like providing a lower cost of our products to the farmers. Next. Yeah, why is insect-based protein feeds better? So the existing feeds have about 19% protein, while we aim at producing feeds with a minimum of 47% protein. And also the insects have other nutrients apart from protein, like the calcium, which is good for bones, iron for blood, and also zinc for eyesight. And also insect rearing is not necessarily land-based, as you do not need to cultivate any land so that you can rear the insects. And also it can be carried at home with minimal required inputs. So the cost structure, it's less. Next. And the future plans. So we aim at starting an insect-based protein animal feeds production farm, which will create an employment for the youth. Next. Next slide, please. So the founding team is me, Dennis Munene, the founder, and my partner. I don't know if he's on a call, Dennis Kemathi. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Dennis Munene. That was such a wonderful presentation, and you know, it's good you got the energy to do it even without your teammates. So good job. I'll take maybe one judge to give him feedback, and the rest we can write it down to share with him.
I think it's now my turn. Also, since I'm wearing green. So Dennis and your colleague Dennis, two Dennises together. I think two is better than one. Anyway, this is a very good innovative project in the agricultural field, and not too many young people in your age group actually decide or choose to take up a project in agriculture. So kudos to you on that. And then I think for me, I'm also proud that you're looking to create more job opportunities for your age mates or for anyone in the society. So that's also a very good thing to take note of. However, I just had one question. You want to be able to receive some of the waste that is disposed of by some of these waste companies. I don't know, how do you and how will you be able to dispose of the same waste? Because, you know, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. My assumption is that, you know, once you receive waste and then the waste has the larvae from the insects, and then some waste will still remain anyway. Is there a process you're also looking to be able to either dispose appropriately to keep the environment clean of the remaining waste? Or will you be able to use all that waste to ensure that you have insects from that waste? Because I'm going to assume it's not ideally possible. But all in all, good job. And I think also on your cost, because I believe you possibly have a potential to scale it up. I think you may have to have some more research on the cost bit. And I strongly believe in networks. So I think partnerships will do you best to ensure that your expenses are as little as possible and you're able to have more profit in whatever you do. However, all the best. And this is a very great project. And very curiously, if they allow me to ask, is it that there's a farm at home, or are you particularly interested in poultry farming? You know, being someone who likes chicken, I think I may just end up being one of your first customers. So thank you.
So Dennis, you can see there's already potential in you know, customers who are willing to partner on different levels. Yeah. So take note of that. And if you want to get in touch with Vanessa, we can definitely help you do that. Up next, we have the Green Nettle Textiles. Anne and Lillian, I hope you guys are ready.
Okay, morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Anka. We are presenting the Green Nettle Textile. My colleague was not able to join the call, so I'll do it alone. Hope so. You are going to be with me.
Okay, we are here to support you, Anne. Go ahead.
The problem you are solving is that due to coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic, most of the Kenyans are suffering from the high cost of product, and that is why we came up with this idea of making clothes, making fiber from the green nettle, and make clothes which we are going to sell at a cheap price. Next slide. Our background research on the problem, in our community, there is high cost of cotton, and people tend to travel for long distances to get the sisal to manufacture the fiber to get the clothes. So we decided to get this green nettle because it is a naturally occurring plant, to use it to get the fiber to produce the clothes. Next. Our solution is to make products which have low prices and to create jobs opportunity to the youth and the older people. Next. Our target are the boutiques, clothing center. Yeah. Next. Our revenue streams are the agent and brokers, which are going to help us to take our product to the next level. Asset sales and education, which they are going to help us make our product best. Next. Our cost structure, we need a canding machine to make the fiber from the nettle, a weaving machine to make the products, those are the clothes, mats, and a spinning machine to make the fiber a good product. Yeah. Next. Our partners are the Tanashati Clothing Company and the non-governmental organizations. Next. Our competitors are the Hito Investment Seso Company, together with the Kenit Company and the Wool Fibers. Why Green Nettle is better? This is because our company is going to produce products at a very low price, which they can be affordable to the local people. Next. Our future plans is to have a big company which is going to supply nettle products and have other branches in our country. Next. The founding team is Anka Reddy, the team manager, and Ryan Wanjiru, the designer. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne, for that presentation. I know, presenting alone is not always easy, but I think you are even able to keep time. So, yeah, just good work. And I see a comment for the previous presentation. John says he's glad to work with Dennis. So yeah, look out for those comments in the chat. Identify these people who want to work with you, and we can help you connect with them. We'll get feedback for Anne, and then the next team to present will be the Smart Glove. So you guys get ready if you want to check for your teammates and so on. Who wants to give feedback? Any one judge could go. I see Nelson is feeling excited about this one. Do you want to, to go? And John is finally here on video. John, do you have a comment?
Yeah. Thank you, Anne and your team. The presentation is amazing. I appreciate your courage to be here and present today alone. And yeah, so it's important for us to note that innovations that come from our local communities and Africa are the innovations, are the things that will make our country and our communities develop. So when I hear young people thinking about starting making clothes locally rather than importing tumba from foreign countries, I get so excited, and this innovation is quite on time. So the presentation was so quick. Maybe a lot of information was left out, but it's a very interesting value chain of getting to the farms, integrating the size of farmers, and then now the manufacturing of the fiber and making the clothes. And then I was just like, why do you have to use agents and brokers to sell your clothes? Why not start your own value chain of a chain of stores that you can sell your clothes in? So there are many things that maybe aren't coming out clearly, but the key thing at the moment is to come up with that product first, to see the product has a market, the minimum viable product, it has value and people like it, and then the whole process can be thought through. So those are my short comments.
Thank you, John, for being brief. Again, you've said the same exact thing with Vanessa in the chat. She said, I challenge you to start your own company, ladies. The sky is the limit, which is exactly like, you don't need that broker. Start your own line of products made from your fiber. So Nelson, I don't want to lock you out if you wanted to comment something.
Okay.
Briefly.
So briefly, I like the presentation. I like the fact that she wants to create job opportunities for the community. That is very important, that you're thinking of the community. There is a similar company in Uganda. Then they are taking advantage of the huge plantation of banana. So they are transforming the sand into fiber, okay, because there is huge plantation of banana. But I don't know, is he using fiber from the sisal, or it is a plant that she mentioned, the Nito plant or something? I don't know.
You need a what?
Where she's getting the raw materials. Is it from sisal or is it from a certain?
From green nettle. It's
green nettle.
Yeah, it actually grows like a weed in my home village, and people cut it out. Yeah.
Okay. So you see, the sisal, they are being planted, right? And right now you cannot just go on cutting plantations. You'll be accused of, with the environmental people, you're destroying environment. You get? So is there a way to ensure that the weed is being planted in large scale or something, so that it can be harvested at a large scale, to ensure that there is available raw materials for this land or this factory they want to do? Or how will you pass into people's plantation or lands to cut it? Or how will you convince the community to allow the wheat to grow so that you have it for your raw materials, for instance? Also, where is the plan now for you to have the huge raw materials? Yeah, I think that will be nice.
Thank you. And I think we've already talked about this issue in our previous presentations, how your partnership with farmers could be, you're looking on how can you convince them that you are commercializing green nettle, so they need to plant it as a cash crop instead of uprooting it as a weed. Yeah, so you can see this is a common conversation. Please take note of that and use this information as you improve your product. The next team, as I said, is the smart gloves. I hope Alphonse and your team, you are ready to go.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Wycliffe, go on.
Okay, my name is Wycliffe Opio, lead designer at Glowtech Limited on smart gloves. Currently working on smart gloves at this time. I'm currently in Form 3 at Kanga High School and doing my internship at Jarao Enterprises as a sales assistant. Imagine waking up one morning and you are unable to speak or hear. I know you're wondering how you're going to perform your daily activities in such a state. Aspiring to solve some of these challenges faced by the hearing and speech impaired, my team and I have come up with the smart gloves. According to the 2019 census conducted by Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, 0.9 million Kenyans are living with disabilities. 150,000 of which have hearing problems. I know you're probably thinking that sign language is the solution. Interpreters or maybe than those other ones.
We did our background research and here are some of the things we found.
Okay, are you hearing, Alphonse?
Yes. Deaf are socially isolated, financially setbacks, and reliability of basic sign language. Next slide, please.
Yes, our solution is to build communication barrier between the hearing impaired and the normal person. Our solution will consist of gloves with the incorporated flex sensors, OLED screen under the control of Node MCU and a mobile application app. It works under the principle of Internet of Things, in that the gestures made by the deaf in the gloves is channeled to the normal person customized smartphone app, which is relayed in form of voice and text output. The feedback from the normal person in voice or text formed through the app is conveyed to the deaf's glove, and the output in form of gesture or text is displayed on the OLED screen attached to the gloves. Next slide. Yes, our main target market, the students and teachers, business persons, and sign language interpreters. Cliff.
Our revenue streams are sales of the product, repair and maintenance, renting, leasing, licensing to the third parties. Next slide, please. Our cost structure. When we purchase of materials, it costs us paying employees, i.e. renting production premises, buying production machineries. Next slide. Our partners are the Vikram Tech, Global Minimum, and KSLIA. Next slide. Competition, Bright Sign and Wason Company. Next slide. Weekly.
Okay, just to add something on that. Just to add something on the competitors, Brenda, if you could go back a little bit. No, the one with the competitors. Okay, that
Yes.
one. As you can see, we have some very tough competitors. That's Bright Sign and Wason. And the other companies, the University of California and Los Angeles. They do the cochlear implants, which are proving to be really expensive for the normal citizen, the average citizen, I'd say. And the Bright Sign company is also producing the smart gloves, but theirs works in a different way. Okay, the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, smart gloves is generally better because it's cheap to acquire compared to the other solutions which have been there before us. It's also easy to operate and gives a real-time alert. Next slide.
Our future plans be acknowledged nationwide to reach 90% of our target market.
In the next
Design communication. Next slide. As you can see, that is a sample of of the glove that we are trying to make. Next slide. Our founding teams from left, Alphonse Ochieng, Wycliffe Opio, and Shadrach Muisiba. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for the presentation. Wycliffe,
Just to add
you
something on that.
Finish up, yeah.
Yeah, the how we are going to sustain it in the market. At Glotech, we have the best talent. I'd say the top talent. You all know that without the right person or the right people, a business can't grow, and such running can be likened to a time bomb. Our company has got a refreshed talent pool with members who are drawn to not only supporting the business model, but also its clients' unique abilities. We are also not afraid to grow. To sustain growth, you need to have a mindset of embracing risks. Our employees are encouraged to share ideas and ideals. Thank you.
Thank you, Wycliffe. And I think I see in the chat people telling you again things we've already told you. Make sure to work closely with Sekani from Keith Brand and also from Vanessa. So please, you've already interacted with Emmanuel and Ellie. If you haven't yet, please don't go home today. Okay, you are home, sorry. don't forget about this camp before you connect with them, yeah? So we'll take feedback from just one judge, and then the next team to present will be the AFIA system. So you guys, ladies, get ready. Feedback from only one judge. The rest we can write it so that we try and catch up with this time.
I was hoping to type my comment and give Nelson or John the opportunity to speak, but it seems not. First of all, I'm super. Is it right? I think I've used super a lot. I'm elated because you have actually thought of a project that focuses on STEM inclusivity, and this means that you're really looking out to ensure that we leave no student behind, especially students with special needs and not disabilities. So we like to refer to them as special needs schools. And I think it's a very good thing that you've come up with to ensure that the deaf students don't have to go through any social isolation or don't feel left out because of their impairment. We're all built different, and thank you for using your best brain cells to come up with this. I think as Keith put it in the chat, definitely work with Sekani. There's an AI model, and I think the Jimin team has mentioned it to you guys already. So as much as you do say that your solution is cheap, everyone is trying to find a faster way of getting information without necessarily having to put on the gloves. I think your best market will possibly be schools, especially schools that teach sign language, so that it's also easy for them to be able to pass information. I like your teamwork. At least you're two. You both, are you two or three? I hope you're two. But you all knew exactly, there are three. Okay, so I think the three of you knew exactly when and how to present. I think your teamwork is good. I think for me is in regards to your competitors, and I think this is something we emphasize a lot at YSK. If you know your competitor sells this phone, for example, and the problem with my phone, or rather whatever my phone does not have, is say speech to text. So focus your innovation for you to have a better platform of being well known, or rather your innovation should be able to hit the spot, rather the gap that my phone does not have, is your innovation should have. So for example, I think it was Watson, or I don't remember what other organization it was, that I think one of you mentioned that their gloves works in a different way from yours. So for you guys to be able to have an upper hand in your innovation attracting more people, be sure to say exactly what other gloves do not have. And that is the solution you're trying to provide with your glove, so that, as much as yours is cheaper, you're also giving more more value for whoever's money, whoever wants to really invest in your product. Otherwise, great job. You have potential to get some nice funding if you do work on it properly. And I'm looking forward to seeing a prototype if you ever do get to that level. Thanks.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate because of timing, we haven't been able to get to the prototyping stage, but I hope by the end of next week, everyone will have their materials and, we'll get to see photos and videos of this and so on and so forth. So good job. And what Vanessa said takes us back to what we did with the problem framing tree. You have to go, to the root of that problem so that your solution, like she says, what is the problem with that? What is different about that other gloves from that other company? So that when you're saying it's different, you can quantify it. What is the difference? The next team we have is the AFIA system, Florida and Juliet. I hope you ladies are ready.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Juliet Samboy with the AFIA system.
Brenda, are you sure that's our slide? Like we have edited it up.
Okay, if that's the case, please send the edited to my email.
It's edited on the on the Google Drive, right there.
It's just this is the one I have in my drive. What we can do, send it to the latest version you have. Send it to my email right now, and then we'll have high school elite system present as we wait for Florida to send me their correct slides. Yeah, so high school elite. Let's go ahead. Victor, are you ready? Victor, are you in the call? Doreen, can you help me see is he here?
No.
Okay. So it seems we'll have to skip people. Yeah. I don't know why you guys are not ready. Should we skip you and just go home and say these guys they want to share? You see the opportunities to partner with people. Don't let it pass by you. No flooding. Are you guys ready to present? Georgina?
Brenda, I see that Vicky is online. I don't know if Vicky is Victor.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vicky is Victor. Victor, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm sorry, stima zilikuwa zimepotea, so I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry, that's fine. As long as you're here, we are happy.
Yeah.
We are happy to continue. Sawa, you can get started when you're ready.
Welcome to EduCH Pro. So our motto is education is life, and I'm presenting Victor and Kelvin. Next slide, please. Okay, the problem that you identified in our society is the lack of information. Take Kelvin, a class A student who has just finished. He wants to go to a high school. So where will he get that information? Mainly, as you see in that diagram, he will get from the parent. It's a parental misinformation because he will go to the fellow parent, and the fellow parent may get that information from alumni students of that school or alumni parents from that school. The student also may get that information from the current students in that school and the students who had finished that in that school. So the problem is that they will be constrained to one school that people know. They may not know that there is a whole Kenya at their disposal to go to those schools. They may lack the places to go. And the background research that we did is that people that we interviewed say that the advantages of the app is that it gives accurate and correct information on the school. And it saves on time because many parents, they must go to those schools to find out what they look like. And it saves on the cost that they take, go to those schools, the money that they pay to travel to those schools. The disadvantages is that it requires internet connection. Those who don't, the parents who don't have the connection to the internet, they won't be able to access it. And it requires educated users to use that app, but we are still working on it. Next slide. So our solution is to make an app which contains a list of all school websites now we are starting in the Meru County. So it contains all the schools in that county, so that any parent or student wants to access it, they can find the schools which they have never heard of it before. They can see schools that they can go to and learn in very, very well. And the app, it will provide a platform for the student to communicate with the school and get further information about it. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the target that we are aiming at is that we are aiming at the parents and the students who want to go to the high school, and also it targets people who are searching for work to those schools as non-teaching staff, who want to go and work at schools, and even teachers who are looking for schools to teach in. They can go to the app, they see all the schools which are in that app, so that they can apply on it. Next slide. So our revenue streams, we aim at pop-up ads that appears when someone clicks on a link in our app. So yes, and also business people who might want to advertise their products and services to audience in Meru County. Next. So we will charge 110 Kenyan shillings per day for students and parents who might need information about the various schools in the county. We aim at partners with the district education officers of the various counties, because we must be able to communicate with them to give us the list of schools in that area or in those places. And we also have partnership with the Global MIMA and the education sectors in various county governments. Next slide. Our competitors, we have still not found any, but we are still aiming to search for them. Next slide. So our app is better because it will be a source of accurate information concerning Meru County secondary schools on boys, girls, mixed and special schools, where they can get all the information that they need on the schools, so that they may be able to enroll in them and to go to those schools. Our future plans is to expand to the 46 counties in Kenya, apart from the one that you have already selected, which is Meru, and also to learn coding and design, to learn more about it and to make our app desirable. Next. So our founding team is me, Victor Mutugi, the programmer, and Kevin already the web designer, though I don't know where he is right now, but
You are spotlighting your team member. I don't know where you are.
That's,
Okay.
that's an awesome.
Yeah. And
Um,
I think, yeah, Nelson, we can have you give the feedback and then others will write. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm interested in this because I work with an education institution called Metis, and they support local education innovators. And I think this is one of the best innovations that I have seen also. It's very scalable. Number one, we have got the Kenya KEPSA, Private Owner Association. They do organize education fairs. And so in the education, they organize education fairs, they produce the education catalog, or we call it a book for indexing schools. So they have all schools in that particular book with their websites already there. So if you have them as one of your partners, you're going to get that book. So it has got all the schools in the counties, their contact numbers, everything, you get them there. That's number one. Number two, you can also advertise jobs in that particular website. The only thing is that that website must be very strong so that it can be able to accommodate that all data that you have, and you must have data privacy policies that are very strong. Number two, you can have schools advertise jobs in that section where schools, if they want to have some employed people, they can advertise in one section so that you can also pay. They can also pay maybe for the services. And number three, people cannot just come to, you cannot just say people have an app and let them start paying. What are they paying? They don't know. So if you are saying in Mary County, first of all, give them 10 schools free or 15 of them free. Okay, tell them if you pay, they're going to get 100 of them. Okay, so first of them, give them a PISA on the website, and when they're on the app, so once they say, tell them for more, then you put PFT for M-Pesa. If they click here, it directly comes to the M-Pesa, so they pay 110 or 120, you're saying, then they access to the rest of the schools. There are so many teachers who are looking for jobs. Right now, they are very many. Okay, so and of course you have competitors, so there is nothing you're saying that you don't have competitors. There are so many websites out here that promoting teachers getting jobs, and that's what they are doing. They bring those schools together. So one of the things you have to do is to ensure that yours is competitive enough, you can provide accurate information and all that. So those teachers who are coming on that particular platform looking for jobs, they can able to get to where the schools are. So you can also include location. That will be very important for you, so that somebody wants to travel to that particular school, they can also find location. So linking it to the GPS or anything, it can also be better for them to arrive there. But I feel this is a very scalable idea. The only thing I would stress on, don't create a small website aiming to get there. If you go to get a website for 10,000, it will not work. 20,000 will not work. A good website for that particular can start from 50,000, so that you have all those counties, because the schools in one county are so many. So if you think of the 47 counties already, that is a big number. And then you can also visit schools, have schools understand what your app is doing. So you can create a poster like, this is our app. So when you visit a school, you put your poster on the staff room, our app on the staff room there, so that they know this is what is happening. It also boosts you. You can also visit schools and let students understand the app that you are having also. When they're having their annual magazine, there is this magazine that is being developed in schools. They can also put you as a partner in the, you might know when you what to mean. When I was in the high school, we used to have the editors who used to produce the magazine. So when they are finished with the magazine, they were partners who used to put at the end of the magazine. So we put all those people. So when you take this magazine at home, and our parents wants to go through them, of course, they also see you also. Thank you so much.
Wow, that is just some excellent feedback there from Nelson, and I hope you've seen how other external people have some really nice ideas that you can incorporate in your in your app, and that will actually improve your revenue streams, because this, you're able to advertise jobs related to these schools and things like that. And I think before we just move on to Afya system, I think 110 bob per day is a lot of money. So if you can think about how to reduce that cost from 110 bob per day, think about it. It's a lot of money. Vanessa says your app or stroke site can also be used to market competitions like the ones to have more schools engage in similar innovation challenges. So YSK is here ready to advertise on you. Yeah, when you launch, you can reach out to Jimin and
Just one last one.
Yeah.
Today, if I want to access the Standard newspaper, I'm paying 10 shillings, and that is a newspaper. Okay, it has got jobs, it has got business, it has got all that, and it is via my phone. Okay, so think about that. Also, I think I forgot to mention that. I think 120 students.
Okay. Thank you, Nelson, for the feedback. Afya system, I finally have your slides, Florida, and your teammates. It's your turn. You can start. Juliet, I can see you unmuted. Whoever is starting, you can start.
It's still saying screen sharing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good morning. My name is Juliet Wangoi with the Afya system. Next slide.
Juliet, can you see the slide, or should I take it from here?
I cannot see properly.
Okay, I think I'll take it from here.
Just a
Okay, so in recent years, we have seen an increase in the number of deaths in the non-communicable diseases. And by non-communicable diseases, I mean cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, diabetes, and cancer. We have also noted that the people who suffer from NCDs do not eat a healthy diet, and they do not have enough money to finance for their treatment. And also, yes, so we decided to come up with a solution to help these people suffering from NCDs. Next slide. So due to our background research, we noted that around about 50% of hospital admission and 55% of hospital deaths are due to these non-communicable diseases. Next slide, please. We therefore decided to come up with a solution to curb this. So the Afya system mainly does three things. One, it improves awareness on the non-communicable diseases to patients suffering from NCDs and non-patients suffering from NCDs. It links patients and non-patients to doctors. By that, I mean the patients who are suffering from NCDs can book an appointment to doctors, to hospitals all over the country, the hospitals which are dealing with NCDs. We also ensure healthier lifestyle for patients by making sure that these patients eat a healthy diet by showing them the type of food that they should eat. And yes, we improve awareness by showing them the symptoms and preventive measures. Our target markets are mainly the patients suffering from NCDs, the hospitals, whose doctors are to book appointments to the patients, the insurance companies, and non-governmental organizations who are to help grant money to these people suffering from NCDs, people who cannot pay for their treatment. Next slide, please. Okay, so our revenue streams. This is how we plan to charge patients 500 shillings each year for each patient. The hospitals subscription fee of 20K for each hospital per year. The non-governmental organization and also other stakeholders 30,000 per year. Insurance companies 20,000 per year. And we also plan to advertise through our app, the Afya system.
Next slide, please. Our initial cost was 30,000, which was donated by our family members. This was for buying the laptop, paying for internet service charges, and also researching and visiting various hospitals in Mombasa County. Other expenses we are to incur is licensing of the app, advertising, registration, patenting, and also have hosting it to Play Store later on. Next, please. Our partners are mainly the system company management, which is us, the hospitals, some hospitals which have visited them, the non-governmental organization, and the health insurance companies. From our research, we noted that there are several apps that have been created, such as the Msaki app, which were designed to help these NCD patients. But we also noticed that these apps only deal with one particular type of NCD, let's say cancer or diabetes or cardiovascular disease. And therefore, we decided as a company to incorporate the 4 NCDs together. We are hoping to reach our customers through our YouTube channel and our social media platforms, and B2C model. By a B2C model, I mean we reach our customers directly, not through any intermediary. Next slide, please. So why is Afya System better than the other competitors? One, we incorporate all the 4 NCDs together in our app. 2, Afya System offers both educational awareness to remote people who are like in the countryside. Yes, people who are in the countryside, and we give more awareness on the non-communicable diseases, their symptoms, and preventive measures. Next slide, please. Our future plans, 1 is to expand our business to reach more people suffering from NCDs and to partner up with people with the organizations and health companies and also the government to implement it all over the country. 2, we're hoping to learn, to better our skills in the programming languages in order to code the system in the app. Finally, our founding team, which is Juliet Wangoi, leads in sales and marketing, Florida Korir, CEO, and Jacinta Mzungu, who is the expert in design and coding. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Florida, for the wonderful presentation. Despite the hitches at the beginning, and it's unfortunate Juliet wasn't able to participate. I think maybe she had a weak connection. Get feedback from one judge, and then others will send it to us and we'll forward it to you.
May I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Florida, Juliet, and Jacinta, good work. I like how you are precise in your presentation and the confidence in your voice. You have all that you need to say at your fingertips. That means you really prepared very well. That is one thing that such innovating and presentation platforms targets to teach young people how to present themselves and be confident. So that you've mastered it very well, and congratulations. The Afya system is timely. I will say, as Africans, most people perish because of lack of knowledge. So there are diseases people are facing, and most of the time they don't have clear information on exactly how to handle them and exactly whom to go to. So your app is very timely, and it will help save a lot of lives and improve the lifestyle of others. Again, I like it that you are the first team I've heard talk about patenting your product. As young innovators, we must learn that it's very important when we come up with these ideas, we find ways to reach out to people who can help us patent these products so that we have the ownership of what we are coming up with. Lastly, I will just suggest working in a medical field or having an innovation in a medical field is very sensitive. So it's very important you bring on board specialist doctors who have correct information in those non-communicable diseases and nutritionists, so that the information you put on the app is top-notch and it's the correct information. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for that wonderful feedback. Yeah, and just maybe Florida should check your budget on patenting. Patenting is very expensive. It's not 14,000 shillings. Yeah, but you can have a look at that, and if you need help, we can link you with people who can help with that, establishing whether you need to patent or get an intellectual property something. So yeah, it's a bit costly, but we can improve that on your budget. So next, I don't know what I have next. Next is we are all taking a break. I feel like I've sat in this one position for so long, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone else. So at this point, I want us to take a 5-minute break. If you need to take a health break, if you need to grab some coffee, some tea, some water, even porridge, if you have the time, you can feel free to do so. And then as you take your break, check out our social media at Innovate Kenya on Twitter. I have seen Wango post some things, retweet, tell us something. What are you enjoying? What's your observation so far? You can also join our Facebook community on the Innovate Kenya community or the Innovate Kenya group. And we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay, my name is Nixon Otieng from Aquinas High School. I'm in Form 4, and I'm very happy to be at Innovate Kenya this year. Well, to me, today I've learned that a genius is not only gotten, but is also developed in a person.
I'm Susan Megwe from the Kenya High School, and I'm in Form 4. Yes, I totally think that the notion that geniuses are born is very wrong, because you can come from one level to the next level, and you can rise from being nothing to something. It's not about being born with something innovative, it's about working towards it. It's about failing and rising back and getting up to where you want to be.
My name's Ramos Mosetti. I'm from Global Vision High School, and I'm in Form 3. Okay, the first thing that came in my mind when I heard the word genius was solution to many problems, and not only solutions, but putting effort in making the problems disappear.
The first thing that came into my mind when I thought of a genius, it was just all the principles that I see in each and every book. I saw different people have written different things that have actually gone to places. We have more than 1,000 laws in physics, others in chemistry. So to me, all of them, they're geniuses. And also we have other geniuses in the world who have discovered the car, others have discovered how to take care of our wildlife, others have discovered how to take care of the forest and all those things. So to me, there's all geniuses.
When I heard the word genius, the first thing is someone who can do something really big, really extraordinary. That is what came into my mind. People like Beethoven, who could compose songs out of nowhere and sing melodies that are out of this world, or people like Shakespeare, who could write poems and stories that 400 years down the line still live, or people who have made innovations like Steve Jobs, which still keep on moving till today and have not been beaten by other people. That's what came to my mind.
Yeah, given a chance, I would. I would. Currently, I'm in Form 4, and if I finish this year, I would like to go and now work on my project real seriously.
What kind of project do you have in mind?
Right now, I'm working on a project that's going to eradicate poverty, or rather, eradicate unemployment in the youth by first letting the youths be given some cash by the government, which their parents would have saved up for them, so they're able to start up their lives immediately they finish their universities or their high schools. In whatever level that they may think they are responsible enough, they be given their funds and they start their own life. So I believe if we start from an early stage, as when you're young, you're given that.
I hope people are back. It's exactly 5 minutes. Maybe if someone could just give a thumbs up so that I see how many people are back. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. So we'll continue with our presentations, and the next team to present will be the No Flooding team. I can see you, Zane, you're already here. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. No Flooding team, Georgina, Zane, you guys are ready? You can go ahead.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay.
My name is Georgina and my partner is Zain. Our team name is No Flooding and our motto is saving and changing lives. Next slide.
The problem we identified is floods. So they are caused by heavy rainfall and around 233 people have been affected by floods. I can't see. Around 233,000 people have been affected by the floods in Kenya in 2020 alone. More than 116,000 displaced, according to the Kenya Red Cross, and more than 40,000 rendered homeless. We also found out that more than 8,000 acres of land were destroyed. Yeah.
I'm muted. And our background research on this problem, flooding, as you can see, there is our survey of how Kenya looks like when it's flooded. Most of the areas which are flooded, here you can see they are near large water bodies where the flooding occurs. So we have, after our research, we have go back to the other slide. And our research, we have seen that the problem that these areas are facing because of the heavy flooding in their areas, it's because they are living in that area. So next slide. Next slide. Our solution to this problem that we have identified is to build a machine that is they are going to be placed in near these water bodies, where our machine is going to detect the water level. When the water level from the water bodies rises, the machine is going to suck the water before it reaches the areas where people are living. After sucking the water, it's going to transport it and store it for other uses, where you can take the water to areas which are drier. Next slide.
Our revenue streams will be from installation of the machines and maintenance, also donations from investors. And our target market are people living in flood-prone regions of Kenya. Yeah. Next slide.
We are looking forward to working with, to partner with the water companies and other sponsors. So, and also we can partner with the Red Cross, which when this accident or this flooding occurs, they may want to help us. Next slide.
Our main competition is the Watergate. It's a clever PC device which uses pressure of oncoming water to stabilize itself. Next slide. Our solution is better because it's long lasting and it works in preventing the floods before they actually become actual floods to destroy areas.
Our future plans of our project is to expand our company internationally. Next slide. And the funding team, as you can see on the left, it's Georgina, there's Kelly, and there's Zane, and Washuko is not here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Zane and Georgina, for the presentation. We'll get feedback from the judges, and then those who won't get to speak will send it to us. But just remember one thing that we talked about was your target market. Who is paying for this in the communities? Yeah. So think about that again, and I'm looking forward to what the judges will say. Anyone who's ready to go? You can unmute yourself, John. I can see you smiling there.
Yeah, thank you, Georgina, Zane, and Washuka. Nice invention, nice idea that you come up with. We know floods are a menace, especially when you look at the plain areas of Nyando or Kano or Budalangi and so on. And it's important we learn how to manage these floods in a sustainable way. So coming up with a detector to know where the water levels have risen and then know how to control the waters is very important. A few questions that come to my mind, for example, is when the water level is rising, you say the sensor will sense the water and then it pumps the water, but you are not clear of where the water will be pumped to. So if there are reservoirs that have been created because floods have a lot of water, the reservoirs need to be really big. So that's something to think about. And then about your future plans, I feel like
you are too general when you say you want to expand internationally. So I'm thinking if you are talking about future plans, you have a plan for the next 3 months, and then here you are saying after 3 months we'll have reached this level of our project, but now we want to upgrade it to this and this level. So if you are more specific on maybe increasing the number of people you are reaching or the area you are reaching from 50 to 100, or making more machines. If you have made 5, now you are increasing to make 20, or if you are offering this solution alone, now you are realizing you are saving your water in this area in the natural form. Now you need to clean it, and then it can be good for pure for drinking and so on and so forth. So as Brenda just mentioned, your customers is very important. And I'm thinking one of your customers, if you are storing this water in reservoir, now you can sell the water in itself, instead of now, if you are not selling the pump itself, you can sell the water if you are the people who are harvesting the water and storing it. So that can be one of your source of revenue. Thank you.
That is such a nice addition to your revenue streams, because initially I think we were focusing on who will invest in this gadget that you're trying to build. That's such a nice addition, John. Up next, we have the youth empowerment team. I can see Abdi and Rasame on the call. I hope you guys are ready to go. Abdi, Rasame, Omar, it's your turn.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yes, we are here. And our
Hello,
team
brother.
name is Hello. Our team name is Warsan Youth Empowerment, and our deadline is to empowering the youth to become and more self-reliant. Next slide. Problems. And the problems that we have found is the youth work opportunities are extremely limited. The work opportunities are very low, or they are very limited. And another one is inability to seek employment outside the camp. They cannot able to seek employment outside the camp or get job outside the camp. Another is idleness, and most of them, they are idle and they have not the work to do. And drug addiction and radicalization also. This is one of the major problems that they have. Drug addiction, background research. According to survey by UNCHR, and as November 2019, the DAP complex, the number is 217,139, and approximately 50% are youth. That's the background research that we have found. Next slide. And our solution is based on programs such as sports tournament and entrepreneurship. Also, another one is counseling. Not only gives solution, and also counseling is a part of solution, which is most important to give advice to them. Another one is build capacity. As we growing up, we look spaces to operate with them. Please. Another slide. Our target and sustainability model, and our beneficiaries volunteer to serve with the 3 months and a funding proposal. Also, our target is used in the DAP complex, refugees, and youth host from the host community. Next, sustainability model, and our beneficiaries volunteer to serve with 3 months, another funding proposal or writing proposal, and getting support from CRS partnership. Next. cost structure. The cost structure, you need renting a safe space to have a place where you can rent or you can access a project. Another one is resources and equipment, e.g. sports. We need materials and the item of sports and outreach, also outreach and visibility. The total sum of this structure is 50,000. Partners. We have our partners, we highly aim them. First is local NGOs, also international agencies such as UNHCR, Norway Refugee Council, also Danish, and Plaza, or also this Nigeria. In skills-based economy, the next frontiers to cap youth empowerment, also companies and skills training. Next slide, please. And we identified that the only competition that has done a similar fact that is EF Youth, have only that EF Youth Center in the lab area. Why are we better? We are better simply because we are better to compare others. First of all, and we are not
Did we lose our presenter?
with them. Another is to co-create solution and for the specialists to give them a right solution. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Hello, good day.
Next slide.
On your future plans slide, if anyone could confirm, they can see it.
Future plan that is collaboration with organizations which have a similar vision and maximize our impact. Another safe space, also establish a safe space in the lab area which we carry out operation. Another one is ICT labs. As we growing, our target is to have a digital skills training center in the lab for youth and entrepreneur, and also internet connectivity. And another one is expansion. We want to extend more areas of the lab, impact more youth people and acquisition programs. Next. The amazing team we have, we are three, and Abdrazak, the director, and Morsame, the designer. I'm also Omar, I'm also the designer. Thank you.
Wow. I want to say, before even we get feedback, I just want to say this is such an amazing presentation and a very, very, very big presentation improvement from your team. So I think you deserve like a huge recognition for that, and just representing people from the DAB, since this is the very first time we've had participants from a refugee camp. So good job, and we know we've had challenges, but you guys were very resilient, and yeah, your presentation was wonderful, Omar. I'll get feedback from one judge. Okay, Nelson, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I want to specifically give them feedback because I work in the area of skill development. And one of such areas has been the inclusion of digital skills in skill development for employability programs. And I want to believe the employability program also seeks to get more jobs. So what they have done is very important to create opportunities for refugees. And I think it's such a scalable and an opportunity for growth opportunity. What I haven't had specifically is how it's different from an NGO program. It doesn't look like a business in my area. And if it's a business, they haven't given exactly how they are going to make their money from the trainings. For instance, how are they charging for the particular training they're saying? And we have so many digital, if this training skill set programs, there are so many, like right now we have we have like the digital trainings, like preparing young people for doing trade virtually. So like just inclusion of AI training, for instance, robotics, we have coding and all that. So they haven't split so that we know which one exactly. But along the same, I want to say that the UN Center for Immigration, Youth and Children, last year, 2019, they had a competition where people who are in the employability, we were submitting proposals on how we can create opportunities for refugees or migrant communities. And I think this is one of the ideas that could have been pitched to receive funding for scaling. And I think it is awesome and an awesome idea. However, on the other side, I know this is beyond them, but I can hear they want to close the camps from the government side. I don't know how we are planning to deal with that. And if the refugee camps are closed, were you going to put it somewhere else? And are you planning to scale it across the counties or something like that? But I want to believe that if you put more specifics into your idea, it has a potential of being scaled up. So my feedback is try to put a lot of specifics on the skills that you want to include. And also, yeah.
Thank you so much, Nelson. And I think I agree with him, because this is your financial model ideally will need a lot of fundraising, because your primary target, you want to improve the lives of the people in the refugee camps. So you probably want to give a service that they won't have to pay for. So I agree. So the next team to present will be Uzuri. Uzuri, I hope you ladies are ready to go.
Yes, we're ready. I hope my partner Tamali is here.
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Good morning and welcome to our presentation on our Uzuri platform. Next slide, please. So I would like us to use our imagination for a little bit and take Stacy as an example. She's an 18-year-old girl from Machakos County. And although she wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, she can't get any schoolwork done. This might sound a bit strange, since you would think that waking up that early would enable you to get schoolwork. But it's not strange, because she's the primary caregiver of her 3 younger siblings. Not only that, but she's exposed to sexual predators on her daily life. With a life like that, I don't know if I would be able to get schoolwork done either. And there have been a huge surge in cases, just like Stacy's, especially when the pandemic started. Next slide, please. So, yeah. So after brainstorming, we decided to come up with a platform, and this platform is called Uzuri. And this is an SMS platform which will enable the users to send and receive messages. And it will have 3 main components: online education, links to vocational training centers, and training against sexual assault. These are all linked because there are problems which are These are all linked because there are problems which are facing young girls today in Kenya. And we hope that we will be able to implement it soon, past the prototype stage, which you can see on the screen. Next slide, please. So you might be asking, why is this important? Well, the reason it's important is because statistics from the Kenya Data and Health Survey show that 1 in every 5 girls between 15 and 19 is pregnant or already a mother. This is extremely disheartening. It is especially evident in Machakos County, where close to 4,000 girls are impregnated, and this is the highest county in the country. Not only that, but these girls may not be given access to education. They may be discriminated against because of their pregnancy status and also because they're female. And this has only been exacerbated due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So now I will hand over to my partner to finish the presentation.
Okay, so next, the question is who benefits? Our beneficiaries will be young girls aged between 15 to 19 years old who are currently in primary and high school. Our platform has been modified to be of great assistance to them. Next slide, please. Our revenue streams, we would ideally like our revenue to come from 5 grants, which will target social programs, especially for women, to add carrier charges to our SMS platform to generate revenue. Doing the math, targeting 1,000 girls and charging 5 shillings per SMS, we shall be generating 0.6 cents per SMS and 600 shillings in revenue. This billing is done by Africa's Talking. Next slide, please. Our cost structure, we shall require 5,000 shillings plus 16% VAT to acquire a special shared short code, and a monthly maintenance, which shall be 2,000 shillings plus 16% VAT. Next slide, please. Our partners will be Africa's Talking to provide short codes for us as well as monthly maintenance, Heroku to run the SMS platform, and Infinum as our software developer. In terms of social partners, Team Kenya, as their vision is to create a bright future for young girls, and Action for Women and Children Concern. This promotes campaigns, this promotes campaigns on the importance of education for young girls. Next slide, please. Why us? We shall be targeting a wider scope, which shall take us to not only primary students, but also expand to high school students. Additionally, we shall be offering more services which have more opportunities and content, which shall not limit the user to only education, as you have seen in the previous slides. Next slide, please. Moving forward, so one of our short-term goals is to learn how to code now, which in turn will help us to launch a more usable platform and have our example, Stacy, to be able to use that platform and benefit from it. We would also like to increase the depth of knowledge, especially in the school education and training sectors, to have more content explored. Expanding from SMS will be a long-term goal, as we would like to create a website which will have even more opportunities for these young girls. Next slide, please. Meet the team. Samali Njogu, providing the more analytical side and coding the prototype.
And I'm Wangeshi Kinoti, and I provided the more creative type and approach in writing the script. And
together, we make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. I think it was very audible and you tried to keep time. So thank you so much. I think I'll just tell you the same thing I told what was this team? High School Elite System. 5 bob by SMS. Okay, maybe I didn't hear that analysis very well, but also 5 bob by SMS is quite costly unless one SMS comes. It's a very long SMS and all that. Doreen says, good job. Let's see if I can see. Manal says, incredible, great presentation. So we'll take feedback from one judge, and then we try and finish up. Is anyone ready to go? Vanessa, we haven't had you in a while.
The 5 minutes was short for us with big appetites, so we were still trying to put something in the stomach. Anyway, maybe just a small question before I give the rest of my feedback to Samali and Wangeshi. Maybe just to clarify for me, what exactly is, I'm assuming it's an app, what exactly is the app or the system supposed to do? Is it providing information? Is it like a hotline or a hot text, for lack of a better way to phrase it, for girls to access? Please just clarify that for me. Or anyone can really clarify.
Okay, so the SMS platform is basically a way the young girls are able to get information when they need it. And it is given immediately. So it's basically also a hotline at the same time, but also a way to provide information to the young girls.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that, Samali. So I think earlier Richie had mentioned that I work with Wezesha Binti, and that is in line with what that specific foundation does. And we just look to empower young girls, especially in regards to mental and sexual and reproductive health. And for your application, this is very nice and it's very timely, I think, with whatever has been happening in the country, especially during this lockdown period. However, I didn't see any bit on competitors. There are similar applications or organizations that offer the same service. And for them, they are actually free. So there's a group called Anti-Jane. I think I'll share the link in the chat after this. And for them, you can call, you can talk to someone, you can get information, and it's all for free. So I hope, I think as Brenda also mentioned, your costing, especially in regards to text, I hope that you're going to be able to find a way to ensure it's easily accessible to people, and also keeping in mind that majority of these young girls come from rural areas. So, access to a phone is also something to keep in mind. However, I think this is a great start, especially being young ladies and seeing that this is a problem in the country. Also, if at all your site does give information, I think at some point it would be important to keep in mind that there are those who are victims of sexual violence, gender-based violence, GBV, yes. So, if there's provision for them to also get some help with your platform or to get any assistance, that would also be a key thing to include. However, it would be, I'm looking forward to what you're able to put together. I think, as Brenda said, in a few weeks or months, in coming up with an actual prototype. I hope my colleagues could possibly add some comments in the chat section. I just thought on how this could possibly be best for both of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And yeah, like I said, these judges are just awesome, like working with people who are already directly dealing with some of the issues you're trying to address with your ideas. So it's good to hear that feedback and different angles of approach. The next team will be the electrochemical reduction. Your name is long. Gaida and Manal in your team.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Could you? I can hear you from very far. Could you move closer to your microphone?
Yeah, okay, sure. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So it's the ECRINEW company, that is electrochemical reduction of nitrates from water. So it's the remedy to clean water. Next slide.
Health risks, e.g. bowel cancer, blood disorder, and various birth defects have been a major baseline of diseases recently. And studies have shown that it is due to consumption of high level of metals, mainly the nitrates in water. But what brings about these heavy metals or the nitrates in water is just due to the normal discharge of nitrogenous fertilizers, industrial waste, animal waste, safety systems that when they're introduced in water, they lead to formation of the heavy metals, mainly the nitrates. And these nitrates, they possess a greater danger to our health, mainly to the unborn babies. Next slide, please, Brenda. So from our background research, it showed that higher levels of nitrates were mainly to be found in places, in lower areas or in places near agricultural places, whereby it was due to exposure of excess fertilizers to the water. And these all, the pollution represent a risk to the aquatic ecosystem, eutrophication, and also methemoglobinemia. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so to our solution, that is through electrolysis, passing of, you consider our prototype. We have our water that's in the beaker, and then with two soda carbon rods. So it's by passing electric current through the water to reduce the nitrate ions in water. That is, break down the nitrate ions to generate ammonia gas that is then later on going to be used maybe in production of fertilizers. So being a pH indicator, it will enable us to confirm the neutrality of the water. That is when it reaches the neutral point. So for our material, that is the 9V battery, the beaker, and the 2 graphite to
Okay, the target of our market is for the water treatment plants, hostels, and people selling water from the boreholes. The market's revenue we opt for different direct sales that will enable us to generate income for our cost structure after enough fundings. The cost structure. We need money for the items required for the electrolysis process. Our company would like it to have salesperson and production personnel. This will cost around 180,000 as cost of payment of both payment of workers. This means our company will raise more money than that to realize maximum profit after sales. Next slide, please.
So for the and competition and our future plans, like we have the CEO together with the human resource finance manager, we all work together as a team to make this project. So for the competition, we have already existing companies that reduce the amount of nitrates, that is through ion exchange and electrodialysis. But the advantage of our is that it's less costly and it is less it's cheap, and also the production of brine through these other methods brings about. For future plans, we would like to come up with partner with many organizations that treat water so that we make our project viable for production, and to work as a team. Next slide, please. So for the founding team, Maida Abdallah, I'm the team leader. We have Manar Hassan, that is our accountant, Juma Abdallah, the designer, Joy Ndano, our personal project assistant, and I think for some she was not able to join us. And for our, I believe that teamwork makes dream work. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies, for the wonderful presentation. Despite the challenges in the background, you could hear some noises, but you guys, you pushed through and we were able to hear you. We'll take feedback from one judge. And the next team will be the automatic fire extinguisher. So you guys could start preparing. Vincent says good one. Omar says amazing one. Anyone? No feedback? John, I can
Brenda?
see you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaida, and your team for the amazing presentation. It's a need that is there in the society, and to elevate people from getting the effects of nitrates in water. And as you've mentioned, with the increased chemicals in agricultural inputs, there's likely to be more nitrates in the water that is found along such areas. So thank you for identifying, congrats for identifying a real need that is there in the society and to help people get better water. You've explained the process you would like to use to get this done, but what I struggle to understand, and maybe you have a better way of explaining it, is what exactly you are making, because you've said you want to get rid of nitrates from water, but you haven't come out clearly if you are making a product that you want to take to the market and how it will look like and how it will work like, and maybe the name you will give it. It hasn't really come out clearly. But anyway, thank you very much for the good idea. I look forward to seeing how far you go with it, and we'll support you.
Thank you so much, John, for the feedback. So ladies, it's just about thinking about your branding, how you're packaging yourself so that someone is able to see the end product is clean drinking water or water to be used for, in the house, in the households, and so on and so forth. The next team, I said, automatic fire extinguisher. Vincent, are you guys ready? Alas, we are echo from your side.
Can you hear me from this side?
Sorry?
Can you hear me from this side?
Can anyone hear Elas? I'm getting a very high echo.
Yo, Brenda, can you hear me from this side?
Can anyone hear what Elas is saying? Elas, I can't hear you clearly.
Unclear.
I think, Elas, you can try moving. Is any interference? Maybe if there's a gadget that is on.
Okay, can you hear me from?
Can we? Okay, team. Sorry. I can hear you better now. Can you? I can hear you better now. But there's a lot of echo. So maybe you can find a better position to take the call, and we have the fire extinguishing robot now. Ken, you said, are you saying something?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's have Richard. Richard, you are very ready. I'm not even ready on my side, but yeah, I'll be up in a second. Okay, Richard, you can go ahead.
Okay, once again, I'm Richard Lukoye from St. Teresa. Okay, I'm dealing with the fire extinguisher robot. And that is our name, that's our company name. And our name tag is now Kila Wakati. Next slide, please. Okay, the specific problem our team is trying to solve is the slow and dangerous and rigid fire process, which is caused by fire mainly. So the things that motivated us to to create this project is to deal with the delay on firefighting department, because the robot we are building is the robot we are building is faster, thus making it to react faster compared to the fire department. The other things that motivated us was how fire caused a lot of property destruction due to slow suppression process, and how the firefighters are able to access some location due to the people who are living in settlement and densely populated areas, so making it hard to put out the fire because they are kind of congested together. Their houses are kind of built together, held together, so it's making it hard for these fire brigadiers cars to pass through the places. Such a good example is like Kibera, where the houses are located, they are in formal settlement. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, the background research that we did was about how fire affected the Gikomba market. It really caused a lot of destruction and loss of life that made people to die mostly. And the survey that we made was most of the places where that fire is mostly experienced, where regular fire outbreaks in Kenya is like the informal market fires, the school fire, and informal settlement. Those are places where markets the fire are also vigilant. Actually, go back to the slide, the previous slide. Yeah. As the evidence we had, as an evidence, we had a statistic that shows fire being the fourth major problem, caused a lot of damage, mostly in 2000 to 2012. And it killed likely 3,319 people due to careless handling and ignorance firefighting department. Next slide, please. Our solution, in order to deal with the project, we are able to make a simple robot using Arduino that could move toward the fire with the help of fire sensors and pump out water with the help of servomotor SG90. So the robot we are trying to make, it's able to sense flame, and not fire. It's able to sense flame, and with the help of the servo motors, it is very effective that the servo motors can help the water to be pumped regularly. Next slide, please. Okay, our target market are the government, the fire department, okay, the NGOs, and because we want to increase our project to go widely, we are targeting on a big market size that will go globally around all the nations, maybe in the USA and such countries. Yeah, next slide. Our revenue streams, we are going to do with a business model that, for this big business model that we are going to use is a mixed model. Okay, the business model we are using is a mixed model that software subscription. This is when the person buys the robot but still pay for the softwares. And good example is how we buy laptops and still pay for the softwares. Another model, hardware sales, is where we will be selling the hardwares and the customer needs to subscribe for software updates. Actually, for a product to last long, it should be maintained. So even hardware maintenance will be incurred. Next slide. Okay, about the cost structure, we have categorized it into variable cost and fixed cost. variable is this cost that changes often, and this changes often. Like when, for example, raw material cost changes because the material that I will need to create a certain robot, maybe a material that I will need to create 5 robots, is not the same that I will need to create as in 10 robots. It's gonna change. It's gonna change. Yeah. Next slide. Okay, we are planning to partner with the fire extinguisher, the Kenyan government, and because our market is going to be global, we are also planning to partner with the UN in the United Nations. Next slide. Since you are dealing with the fire extinguisher process, the manual extinguisher and the firefighters are our main competitors because they're also dealing with how to put off the fire and how to make fire to be a less problem in the community. Next slide. Okay, why is our project better? This is because it is fast compared to when you compare our project to the firefighters, our project is faster compared to those because we use sensors to identify fire outbreak, and we can suppress fire autonomously because we sense in a period, the project senses in a period of time and emits and it's able to put off the fire in an easily manner. Another thing that makes our project to be better is because it is environmental friendly. It does not emit gases because it is full of electricity, and the way that it's extinguishing fire, it uses water. It does not use smoke or something like that. Next slide. Okay, our future plan is to build a working prototype and conducting a market survey, such as surveys to see how the prototype is working and to see how the customer relates to that prototype, to that project, and obvious price evaluation. That's a matter that we can consider. Next slide. Okay, our funding team, it's me, Richard Lukoe, the project designer, and Daniel Bravin, who's not here, that's my assistant, and Josephine Jerry, who's sick, that's our accountant. Yeah, thank you. That's all of my time.
Wow, thank you, Richard, for holding your team together, representing Josephine, who unfortunately wasn't able to participate today. We wish her a quick recovery. I really like the improvement from the slides, from the general presentation, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what the judges will say. We'll get one person. Data says great presentation. Anyone who wants to go? No?
Okay. Oh,
okay. Yes.
John, I can type mine.
John, you here?
No, he's there. You muted. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Vanessa, you will have gone, but let me just give my brief comments. Richard, great presentation. The amount of detail offered is in depth, and we appreciate when you give such holistic information because we can clearly get what you are talking about. It's a good invention that can be very helpful especially in the tight areas where the fire extinguishing vehicles cannot be able to get to quite easily. But from my end, it has left me with so many questions than the answers that have been provided. For example, if it is a robot that is sensing where there is fire, for example, where is it stationed? Where will it be stationed so that it can sense to what level or length, distance can it sense where there's fire? And then secondly, there's fire everywhere in our localities. There's Mama Mboga burning fish using fire and so on. So how intense should the fire be for the robot to sense that now this is dangerous fire and not destructive fire? And if it is a robot that is traveling without the form of extinguishing the fire, for example, water, foam, or carbon dioxide, how are those areas that are tight enough going to access those resources so that when the robot comes, it's easier to extinguish those fires? So the idea is noble, but it needs to be thought through and refined so that it can come to the level of now this can work, and you can convince somebody that this is now what we can take to the market. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that you said refined. It needs to be refined. So I see Vanessa has shared some different classes of fire. Richard, you can take note of that and see how your robot could counter in for these different kinds, and also not just limiting yourself to water, because water is not appropriate for some cases. And I think John is asking you, all these teams, so many questions that I've been asking you. And I remember, Richard, your first presentation, my question was, if it's getting to the site of fire, so and then it goes to get the water, what if there's no water in that site? Maybe the Yosiku steamer was not there and they didn't pump the water. So that's a good question that John has just repeated. Think about making, like, you want to make it autonomous, yes, but also independent of other factors in the environment that would limit its functionality. So I'm really, really loving this group of judges. Not that I didn't love others, but you're hitting the, nagonga ndipo. In Kiswahili we say that. So Elias and your team, are you guys ready now? Do you feel like you're ready to go? Vincent?
Hello, Brenda.
Yes. Go ahead. If you guys are not ready, I think
I'm ready.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Hi guys, welcome to the automatic fire extinguisher. I'm Kikata Vincent presenting. I'm representing Elias Minani. His data battery is very low. Next slide, please. So I wish you to take an instance of Simon. Simon is 42 years old.
Vincent, we're getting a lot of echo also from your side. So if you're connected to two devices, please disconnect one.
No, it's Elias.
Elias, please unmute yourself. I've just muted Elias. Please let Vincent present because we can hear him better. Go ahead, Vincent.
So I take an instance of Simon. Simon is 42 years old, an engineer in Majengo, and is 72 kgs. He goes to work at 7 and returns to home at 5 p.m. So Simon works in Welo Tea Factory, and the machine breaks down instantly. And then there's an instance of fire. Then, due to unreliable means of fire extinguishing, the Welo Tea Factory gets into ruins, and 64 jobs and 2 deaths are witnessed, and 64 jobs are lost. Simon is a father of 3, has 2 wives, and is the only breadwinner to the family. Next slide, please. So from the Simons incidents, we came up with this problem. There have been arising events of fire lately. Then there is the late response of fire cases, the rising death tolls subsequent to fire cases, unreliable means of firefighting like the use of water. You know, sometimes there will be shortage of water, then there's massive losses and destruction of government property. Next slide, please. So we did a background research on the Transami fire that happened in May 30th, 2020 in the pipeline area that led to a death toll loss of 75 people and an injury of 112 people. It also, the fire was caused by an explosion of a leaking oil in the slums, as the Guardian reports. And so this problem led us to develop the automatic fire extinguisher. Next slide, please. So the automatic fire extinguisher as our solution and remedy to the problem works in a way that it alerts the owner in case of impending outbreak and automatically puts off fire. So it comprises of two detectors. There is a gas detector and the LPG gas detector and the smoke detector, which are connected to a relay. And then when in an instance of fire, a signal, electric signal is transmitted to the relay and then into the pump, which pumps hydrochloric acid to calcium carbonate, producing carbon dioxide. That is the main extinguishing part in the project. Next slide, please. So we target 80% of the manufacturing and processing industries in Kenya, that is the chemical industries, mechanical plants, such as the KenGen geothermal plants, as they test to be the most vulnerable to the fire instances, and so far have tested to be the most afflicted by fire. Next slide. So we get our money from selling the automatic fire extinguisher to the National Fire Control Boards, then installing the device in industries, as we have talked about the geothermal industries, by clearing resultant calcium chloride as the byproduct of the reaction between hydrochloric acid and the calcium carbonate. And then we also get money from renewing hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate, because once used, they lose their concentration. We could also get our money from supplying the required chemicals to the owners of the automatic fire extinguisher. Next slide. So the costs that are going to be incurred in creating the complete project is the purchasing cost for various components, that is the hydrochloric acid, the calcium carbonates, and the gas detectors, the smoke sensors, then installation cost of the complete project in our industries, preliminary purchases of additional detectors. You know, when the area of coverage is very big, then someone will need to add the gas detectors and the smoke detectors to cover a wide area. Then we also get from product recycling of calcium chloride, chemical purchasing, and emptying of chemical containers. Next slide. We are partnering with the Fireline Safety Kenya Limited for the delivery of the products, such as the smoke sensors. Also partnering with the Kenya Red Cross, the Fire Prevention Center, Kenya Opticom, and also the GMIN as the market for a product. Next slide. One of the serious competitions that we have come across is the existing automatic fire extinguishers in the market, and they are widely delivered by the fire control boards, and also they are in our fire prevention shops. So this is one of the competitions that we have come across, and it's very stiff. Next, please. Our automatic fire extinguisher is better in that it is cost effective, that a lot of money is not needed in the expenses, because the expenses are locally available and they are not that expensive. It is effective, efficient, and reliable in that it does not require human handling when extinguishing fire. It is eco-friendly in that the carbon dioxide that is produced is only used to extinguish the fire. And once the fire is put off, no more carbon dioxide is produced. You know, carbon dioxide is one of the threats to our environment in that it causes global warming. Next slide, please. Our future plans are to introduce the flame detector technology to cover up the various types of fire, and also to increase the area of application of the device. We also intend to apply the devices at our hotels and homes. So because many of us have shifted to use sane gas as a source of energy, we also want to partner with the calcium chloride involving companies to sell our calcium chloride once cleared from the containers. We also want to partner with the United Nations. Next slide, please. This is Elias Minani and Vincent Kikata production. We want to thank our mentor, Katie Ami, and Global Minimum as a general. Thank you very much. Automatic fire extinguisher, extinguishing your, automating your extinguishing experience. Thank you.
Wow. I can see Vanessa just smiling alongside me. That was such a powerful presentation. And thank you, Vincent, for really just picking up and holding your team together when Elias wasn't really audible. So like good teamwork there. And I think my one question to you would just be, what is the reaction time in between when the relay sends a signal to the time when the hydrochloric acid mixes with the calcium carbonate to produce the CO? What's that rate? How much can it produce in 1 minute if a fire is raging and I want as much CO2 as possible? So that would be my major question. And I want to hear maybe from one judge. And team 254 health, be ready. You're up next. Any judge, you can go ahead, unmute and give your comments.
Since we are all of us trying to remain moto, now that they're extinguishing us. Anyway, sorry, I liked the jokes and the presentation with the cartoons. I was following very keenly. I'll just make it short. One, the same thing I told Richard in his earlier presentation. I understand you're focusing on are they factories or warehouses? I think they're bigger sites, for lack of a better way to phrase it. However, you know, fires can come up of anything. It could be a gas leak today, tomorrow it could be oil, tomorrow it could just be a malfunction with electrical wires. So I hope there's room for you to also ensure that you have provision for other things to be able to, other ways to extinguish those specific fires. And then the other thing I think as advice, I'd eagerly let you know that to make your product stand out, it would be nice for you to add a way for authorities to be informed when a fire is taking place. So I think you mentioned earlier that it will send a text, or it will alert the owner of the place, and then also it will start the water or the carbon dioxide thing to ensure the fire stops. So at least if you're able to link in that when a fire starts, maybe where Brenda is alerted where if she's at the office, and then say the fire brigade or the police or someone in authority can also just be informed, so that if Brenda, for example, is not in a position to quickly get there, someone in an authoritative figure really can be able to just go and ensure that either things are fine or no one is hurt. And then when you mentioned your competitors, I think your competitors now would end up being partners that they can help you fill the gap that you're not able to sort out. So for example, if you're focusing on CO2, then your competitors can focus on water, or can focus on foam, or can focus on powder, you know, whatever it is that you don't have. so that at least now you have a really nice partnership going forward to ensure that you're able to extinguish these fires extinguishingly well. Yeah.
Okay, and I think, yeah, when we're talking about our competitors, it's always good to acknowledge that, yes, you will always find people already doing these things, but how are you bringing it back to your community? Look at, the people you interact with daily, they don't have access to these fire brigaders or these already systems that exist. You can focus on those people. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for the feedback. Up next, we have the 254 health check. We are almost done. I know by now it's lunch hour. People are starting to feel hungry. We are almost there. Sasha, are you good to go?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Please, could you go to the other presentation? Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So 254 health check, a care that is always available. Next slide, please. So basically in the past year and still happening, I'm sure we've all witnessed the impact that COVID has had on the healthcare sector, most especially on those with the pre-existing conditions. And from statistics, we can see that 94% of the patients who succumb to COVID-19 are those with the underlying condition, and this is as a result of their weak immunities. Consider the example of Peter, who's a 50-year-old man, and he leaves his house to go to the hospital as he's feeling unwell due to suffering from diabetes. He boards a matatu and in the process, interacts with many people on the way there. A few days later, he experiences symptoms such as coughing, and after several tests, he's diagnosed with COVID-19. He later succumbs to the disease. Next slide, please. So basically why we chose this, my teammate and I have had a direct experience to losing someone to COVID-19 linked to diabetes, and this prompted us to find possible solutions to cater for people with the underlying conditions like Peter. And over the last 1.5 years, global attention to COVID is highlighted on a daily basis, as we've seen through the media and all. And our personal research is what led us to decide to build a web platform to bring specific answers. Next slide, please. And seeing all this, we planned to create a website providing comprehensive linkages for support for those who have been directly or indirectly affected by COVID-19. And this website will be mostly beneficial to those with the pre-existing conditions. Next slide, please. Our target market is those with the underlying conditions, and these are people who suffer from diseases such as diabetes, cancer, chronic kidney disease, asthma, and many others. And concerning our market size, our website will provide specifics on the percentages as we're still doing more research. Next slide, please. Our source of revenue will be subscriptions on the website. And by this, we are going to divide our website into two parts. We'll have the free part of it and the premium package of it. So the free part will basically provide valid information on the coronavirus disease, as well as the various underlying conditions. And the premium package will require one to subscribe either daily, weekly, and monthly. And this will enable them to be linked to the medical assistance that they require. In addition to that, we also have commission with various partners who will direct traffic to. And our data will be used for research in line with data privacy and protection rules as another revenue stream.
So our cost structure will consist of building and maintaining the website, as well as other internet-based activities. And our key resource behind our website is our human capital, which is our team. Next slide, please. So we would like to partner with the public and private health sector, which includes clinic, hospitals, private doctors, ambulances, etc. And this would enable us to link those with underlying conditions with the medical assistance that they require. In addition to this, we'd also like to partner with various research institutions, such as the World Health Organization, which would enable us to acquire more information on the coronavirus disease and also other underlying conditions. And our competition are the current health providers, as well as all the other interactive means online. As we all know, there are very many websites that on the internet that give this kind of information. This is a partial competition as well as a step for collaboration. Next slide. So you might be wondering, why is 254 Health Check better? This is because we provide concise, direct, and well-researched information backed up by credible and well-experienced partners. Next slide, please. So after school, we intend to take this project to the next level and turn it into a viable enterprise. As this is a new enterprise and we're still working with it while at school, it will take a while before it's fully up and running. Next slide, please. Okay, so you might be wondering at this point, what does our website consist of?
Yes, next slide, please. As mentioned earlier, it's a website. 254 Health Check is a website that provides comprehensive linkages for support for those who have been directly or indirectly affected by COVID-19 or other underlying diseases. Next slide, please. Our websites will consist of
resources, support, subscription, and partnerships, and contact. Next slide, please. So first we look at resources, which will consist of linkages and information about each underlying condition that we're providing solutions for, information that will help us, that will help those who are at home, as well as data and local resources for those with underlying conditions. Next slide, please. Support. Here we'll put linkages to various organizations that will provide primary health to those with underlying conditions, as well as linkages to our accredited home care and social workers for those who need attention at home, as well as linkages of utility support organizations and addresses and link information of our accredited healthcare service providers. Next slide, please. Subscription and partnership. This contains various subscription packages, as well as accredited hospitals and clinics providing emergency support, as well as NGO and other donor organizations. Next slide, please. And also contacts. This will comprise of our contact and our donation support information for those who will be willing to support this program. Next slide, please. So our mission is to link people with underlying conditions with the best healthcare possible. And our vision is to impact the lives of as many people with underlying conditions positively as possible. Next slide, please. So our team is I, Charlotte Gima, and Sasha Njogu. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I know that was like a last minute addition on how the website will look like. And I'm really looking forward to how it will, look now once you start prototyping. It would have been good to see like wireframe sketches of how your website is going to look like. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Any feedback from any of our judges? Nelson, we've been silent for a while now. Do you want to go up?
Yeah, of course. It's been a good presentation. I think having a presentation that is looking at addressing challenges COVID has had on our health system is very important. I've got almost 3 things that I'd like to talk about. Number one is how will they monetize the resources that they are giving out? Is it that someone will be reading the resources, or it is in form of videos? Is it in form of reading materials? Or what kind of the resources are saying they are going to be giving? And how is it going to be different from others? Like the World Health Organization has already a lot of these resources. If they want it to be like ResearchGate, I know most people know ResearchGate. ResearchGate is a platform where if you want to access, for instance, a thesis or someone wrote about a problem, like for example, a throat cancer, you want to access that thesis that the different researchers came together and wrote it, and then they have published it, but it's not available for the market unless you go to ResearchGate, you pay the subscription, and then they will allow you to read that particular thesis or that particular research paper. if they are saying to do something like that, then it means that they have to get a lot of researchers who are willing to contribute, and getting all that resources together, I think, takes time. It is not easy to pull all that resources together to put into the website, and so that they're able to monetize it. But I also like the fact that they're having a support system. So I don't know, is it going to be a 24-hour contact center where a patient or someone seeking to get their services can directly call them, of which I believe it's also a good feature if they want to say that they are going to have like freelance doctors to support them, so that a particular area can be assigned to a particular doctor, so that these doctors, they can be called in case there's a patient somewhere. They can give either virtual guidance or anything based on what they want to access. I think that can be scaled up, but there's already enough competition because of the COVID thing. There are so many virtual places where people can get instant answers on. So it depends on how they want it to be scalable. And again, typically a website, to be able to accommodate that, it needs to be a very sophisticated website, because you need to give someone a preview. Like if you're saying you're going to monetize that resource, you have to give them a preview or a snapshot of what is it that they want to buy, so they're able to buy it. A normal website, they cannot give you that particular feature. So it means you have to invest so much in that particular website. Most people want to do it via an app, which is more easier, because they also give you contact details and all that. But if you want to do it within a website has to be very sophisticated in a way that can capture those details very well, and you can also differentiate exactly what is the resources offering, and how is it different if I want to do contact support, like if I want to call, what is it available to get? And then what I mentioned, which type of resource are they talking about? Are they talking about videos? Are they talking about reading materials? Are they talking about audios, or what? What exactly is it that they are monitoring? But it is a good thing.
Thank you,
Maybe
Nelson.
what I'll add is maybe they could also talk about the overhaul of COVID, because people have gotten COVID. They have got those that feel fast, and those that have symptoms that don't go away easily. It affects them for some time. The overhaulers, the COVID, it can also have a section there for research, maybe for resource and the monetization.
Thank you, Nelson. That is like so much information from one person. I hope you ladies have captured that, so that you can incorporate it in the final website or app that you build. We still have just one more team to present. I think they know themselves all the way from Kaimosi. So you guys are up next. Prislita and the team. Hope you're ready.
Good afternoon. My name is Owor Lorraine. Our company name is Kabrovisky, and we are aiming at making the automatic solar-powered wheelchair with voice controller for physically challenged. Remembering the stampede that happened in Kakamega Primary School, that was 4th February 2020, 14 school children, that is 9 girls and 5 boys, died. Some pupils survived with broken limbs, and this situation forced them to use the conventional wheelchair. Actually, being human enough, or if you are human enough, you will sympathize with the pupils in the situation they are and how they find it difficult moving from one place to another using the conventional wheelchair. The sorrow we felt prompted and triggered us to do research in different hospitals, such as the Jumia Hospital and the Kakamega Hospital. Next slide, please. On the problem, those who are fortunate enough to have lost the ability to move their legs due to a significant amount of paralysis, accident, or due to old age, get it very difficult moving from one place to another. And this causes dependency, as one need to depend on someone to be pushed from one place to another. They also face problems like fatigue, blisters, and also insecurity.
I can't hear Preslida. I think she has a weak connection. Preslida, we couldn't hear you. Could you just go again? Or if she's not able, someone else could continue.
Excuse me, those are not the slides we edited.
Okay, it's a bit too late for that right now, because I can't give any other. Could you just continue and finish up, unless someone has sent them to my email? Can someone respond, please? If you have a different set of slides, you can send them to my email quickly. Otherwise, we have to continue with these ones.
Our mentor has them.
Mulengwa, are you in the call? Emmanuel?
Hello, yes, let me send it just now.
Sorry guys about that. And actually Nelson had just requested for you to start again. I couldn't hear Preslida. Preslida, if you can hear me, try to move in maybe in an area where your network is stronger, as Emmanuel sends me your slides.
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you, Preslida. Please just let me know once you send it. As we wait for them, maybe we could have, if we have a guest, a parent, someone who wants to give a comment for a minute as we wait for their slides. Since it's the last team, we can't have anyone else present, but I'd want to hear from a guest who is tuning in. Is there anything that has excited you as we wait just for 1 minute? And Mulengwa, please text me as soon as you send them. I'm trying to refresh my email. Preslida, I think we can still hear you. Keep talking to your neighbors. If no guest wants to speak, I can see many guests. Kimokoti, Dennis Okore, you've been with us for several sessions. Would have loved to hear what your thoughts are. You can see there's a Douglas. Mulengwa, could you confirm that you sent them to me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this is a lesson to everyone. In future, you follow instructions, because maybe you would have missed out if we'd say, no, we cannot do that. So in future, please, everyone, let's follow instructions so that we avoid similar situations. So please start over.
Okay, thank you. My name is Owor Lorraine and our company name is Kabrovisky. Our project is aiming at making the automatic solar powered wheelchair with voice controller for the physically challenged. Next slide. Remembering the stampede that happened in Kakamega Primary School, where 14 school children, that's 9 girls and 5 boys, died. Some pupils survived with broken limbs, and this situation forced some of them to use the conventional wheelchair. Actually, being human enough, or if you're human enough, you will sympathize with the pupils in the situation they are and how they find it difficult to move from one place to another using the conventional wheelchair. The sorrow we felt prompted and triggered us to do research in different hospitals, such as the Jumia Hospital and Kakamega Hospital. the problem. Those who are unfortunate enough to have lost their ability to move their legs due to a significant amount of paralysis, accident, or due to old age, get it very difficult moving from one place to another. This causes dependency, as one need to depend on someone to maybe push him or her from one place to another. They also face problems such as fatigue, blisters, and also insecurity. Next slide.
So with our solution, we are going to ease movement for the physically challenged and also decrease the burden of helping these people in the community in terms of movement. As you can see there, it has a solar panel which is used to charge our battery lipo. We are also having sensors. These sensors are the ones which are going to detect anything dangerous during movement so that the chair stops immediately to reduce the rates of accident. We're also using an Arduino as our microcontroller, and it is the one sending the signal to the DC motors in the wheels and rotate for movement. We are using a plastic chair to make it cheaper and light in terms of movement. Next slide.
Our target markets are institutions such as hospitals, schools, and factories, and individuals like those who are physically challenged, their parents or well-wishers. Next slide. Our revenue streams is where we will get our money, and this is by selling the wheelchair, doing repairs for the wheelchair, and also leasing the wheelchair at a cost to hospitals and schools. Next slide.
Next slide. So for the cost structure, we have fixed cost and variable costs. For the fixed cost, we have equipments to build the wheelchair and the rent for our workshop, but we hope to deplete the rent when we are stable enough to build our own workshop. Under the variable cost, we have labor for construction or repair of the wheelchairs and transport for imports or exports or local markets. Next slide.
We aim to partner with major hospitals, also television stations. They are going to help us advertise our wheelchair, and the Ministry of Health. Next slide.
Our competitors are the Gialian Wheelchair Factory, the Orthopedic Limited, the Lincel Technology in Githurai also. Next slide.
Our project is better because it will simplify movement for the physically challenged, and it will also ease the time moving because somebody will. Next slide.
For the future plans, in the next 3 months, we would have made the prototype through all the phases of design thinking, and I'm sure it would work according to not only our expectations, but also our user expectations. Next slide.
The founding team is Verona Awiri, Pres Leader Machengo, Owori Lorraine, and Emitawa Elena. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ladies, for the presentation. I think one of you was experiencing some delays, so I could see delays in transitioning to who's presenting next, but I'm glad we were able to hear you. And I hope you said you are very sure your wheelchair will meet the needs of your users. If it, make sure to test. If it doesn't, remember what we did in design thinking. You can always go back, iterate the process, redefine the problem, generate new ideas to try and improve it. So yes, you are sure right now, but be willing to go back if it doesn't work. Anyone who wants to give feedback from our judges? Anyone? Vanessa, do you want to go? I can see you already with your video smiling.
Well, my video is here to make them feel comfortable that someone is actually a human being and listening. I thought the gentleman would take this up, assuming they're more created than I am. But
John, are you able to give a comment and help Vanessa over here?
as he possibly decides, I could just say that from the other inventions or innovations that have been done in regards to a wheelchair, I think you all saw the Kenyan who did the wheelchair that can move on hard terrain. I don't know if you saw it. I'll share a link with you guys after this. But I think it's a good thing that you're considering the young students in that school that had the horrible tragedy. However, oh yes, I think TME Education, whoever that is, yes, him. So you may have to also consider that one, as much as you're giving these devices to the students, will the school still have access to stairs? If they have access to stairs, that means the chair cannot be used. If it's voice automation, I don't know what terms you have used, but if it's going to use voice, for example, you have to keep in mind matamshi ya mtu. So, depending on what language you're going to ensure the device can be able to use, that at least they're able to use it appropriately. And then also, what else did I write? Yeah, I think it's a move in the right step, especially for ladies who are now digging deep into both tech and I think engineering aspect of it. So I'm really proud to see, as you close the presentations for us, that you are looking to really venture into this field. I think Brenda just mentioned that, once you guys are able to, if something hits a snag somewhere, be sure just to move 2 steps behind and just look what exactly worked and did not work. Happy that you have Emmanuel as your mentor. I've worked with him before, and I'm sure he'll be a great mentor in your in your process. But anyway, all the best, ladies. Yeah.
Thank you, Vanessa. John, do you still feel like you want to say something?
Vanessa has summarized everything, but I will still insist again, as she has highlighted, there are some already wheelchairs in the market, but at this moment, we should be looking at what exactly suits our local circumstances and what can we make that can reach most people. And what I appreciate, for example, from the ladies is now they are thinking going solar way rather than charging the wheelchair on an electric source. That means somebody who doesn't have access to electricity can use that chair, which is something that is differentiating. So there are lots of ways we can work around the inventions that are already there so that they can suit our circumstances. Yep.
Thank you. And just for the ladies, we've actually worked with Peter Mbiria in the past. He's been a mentor in one of our camps. So watch the videos. If you ever want to do even a virtual tour of his space, I'm sure he's always willing to help young people learn more and get to understand better these concepts. So I've talked for so long right now, but I want to just again appreciate all of you, celebrate you. It's been a tough 9 days. So this is our 10th day, and I've seen a lot of improvement from you guys. So for Vanessa, Nelson, and John, very big thanks for coming here to give the feedback. For all those that you texted in your notebook or notepad or wherever you are testing them, you can send them to us via email, and then we'll make sure to forward it to the respective teams. And we value feedback so much. That's why we ask you guys to give feedback. We are not really interested in this is the best team, this is the one who scored 10 out of what, but really, and helping them understand how they can improve their concepts for the better of our community. So thank you so much for your presence today. At this point, I would like to hand back to my colleague Richie, who will go over what are the next steps after today. Welcome, Richie. your camera is off or covered. Yeah.
Let me just share my screen real quick. But as I do that, I just want to congratulate and thank everyone. I know that was probably not the easiest thing you've done, but presenting virtually has its challenges, but you guys have done really great. And also judges, the feedback, it's like really immense, and really, I can say like in a way that you guys were giving feedback like you were really engaged in the projects. So like it's also like great to see that out of judges, and I really appreciate your time in doing that. So let me just present my screen. I hope everyone can see. Brenda, maybe you can let me know. Can you see it?
Yes,
See my
I
screen?
can see. Yes.
Great. Yeah, so just as Brenda mentioned, like this pitching event wasn't to pick up the best team, like that was already done. All the teams that were selected for this camp are finalists, but also the winners. And so each team gets a special award. And I won't, okay, I'll probably, some of the team names have changed. I'm aware of that. But I think most of the students will know which teams that they're part of. Sorry. So yeah, so the awards will be handed out like much later, and we have the WhatsApp group, you have our emails, we'll work through that. But based on your work, based on your interests, and mentors also assisted us in selecting like these awards for you. So most of the teams you can see like they're getting like Arduino kit, they're getting like electronic kit for them to continue prototyping, and also they'll be getting support in learning about programming, as most of the teams are heavily on the software and also on the hardware tech side. So I hope everyone's taking note of like the awards they're getting. Maybe as team members, you can take maybe a screenshot or photo, but I'll also share this on email and WhatsApp group so that you're aware about the awards that every team is getting. So this is the first section of the team, and this is for the next. And yeah, we really wish like the pandemic was over, because there's some awards that we usually give that are tours to companies or social enterprises that are also solving the challenges that have been identified by the young innovators and leaders that are presented today. For example, like the Green Nettle X Textiles, we'll do like a virtual tour of a textile company that is in Nakuru. This is courtesy of your mentor. If things get better and like the lockdown is maybe like lifted, maybe we can see how we can organize for like an in-person tour. But at the moment, like let's just follow the health safety protocols, and we'll do most of the awards like virtually and online. So these are the awards that everyone has gotten. And last but not least, I would like to really thank all the mentors for their time and dedication the last 2 weeks. So I'll just mention them: Kelvin, Andrew, Cynthia, Ellie, Ken, Katie, Winold, Abel, Gloria, Delphine, Irving, Dailash, Edwin, Emmanuel, Nashon, and Sam. Really thank you for your time and effort like in mentoring these young people. It's really great, like also like having repeat mentors like coming back to offer their advice, offer their mentorship. Some of the mentors we've worked with them since 2015. So you can see like it's a span of long years, and they still have that energy to come back and mentor. And thank you also judges, Vanessa, Nelson, and John. As I mentioned before, like the feedback you guys were giving, like it's like you're almost like already invested in the project. So it's really good, like you've taken your time to on this Friday to come and guide our young innovators and leaders. At this moment, I would actually want to also invite Press Leader, who is one of the young leaders, to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the other young innovators and leaders that have presented today. So Press Leader, are you in a position to speak? Let me stop.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second, please.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes. My name is Machengo Preslida, Friends School Kaimosi Girls. I'm glad to be here, and I would like to thank each and everyone who has made this 2 weeks virtual camp a success. I thank all the members all the mentors who have always been there to correct and build us in many ways. You are actually the people who have made our projects to be what, and may God bless you abundantly. I thank all the GMIN officials for giving us this fabulous opportunity to explore our ability in the field of innovation, and may God bless you as you continue touching people's lives. I'm very glad for the presence of our judges. You have indeed rectified us whenever necessary, and thank you so much for your good ideas. Thank you. Be blessed.
Wow,
Nice,
I'm feeling blessed already.
Thank you, Priscilla. So I see a question real quick that says what is the next step from now? Maybe I can mention it again. So this part of the camp, the 2 weeks, the young people were able to work on their ideas. But also if it was an in-person camp, they were being able to prototype, which they were not able to do so at this moment. But through the mentorship and advice they've received, we'll still purchase the prototyping materials for them. We'll be sending to their schools or to whatever location, like person who will be prototyping. So that's part of the next step. We've also shared other opportunities with the young finalists in terms of, how do I say? In terms of other opportunities that they can take advantage of. For us as GMIN, we believe like we're a catalyst for change. And so we are also partnering with other organizations. For example, Young Scientist Kenya is here, who's our big outreach partner. And they also host the Young Scientists exhibition every year. That's an opportunity they can take advantage of. There's opportunities like the Anzisha Prize. And for us now, we are, as an organization, we are helping and supporting that. Like, so if students need recommendation letters to apply for other opportunities, definitely. And we're also having a WhatsApp group. And now all the students, I mean, everyone who's been here is part of the GMIN family. And being part of that family, we're supporting each other. We still keep mentoring each other. Actually, one thing I forgot, maybe, I don't know, Brenda, if you have something else, but just maybe to hear general feedback, not general feedback, but general comments from the judges. Maybe they could take like a minute or two each, just to share about like how everything else has been. Sorry, I missed that part before the vote of thanks.
Yeah, I'll go first. I had started typing in the comment section. So thank you for all the young innovators. I'm really impressed with the ideas you are coming up. I will just say 3 things. Believe in yourself, believe in your idea. That is the beginning point. Let nobody tell you what you can do and what you can't do. And then do it anyway. Do it, fail fast, fail cheap. Learn, adapt. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is what teaches us so many lessons, but make sure you calculate your risks very well. And lastly, always seek to start small. We have big goals, we have big dreams, but let's know where we begin from. Let's start lean and learn as we grow along the way. Thank you.
Nice, thank you so much, John. That was so great. Just that part on failure, like the word fail, I usually use it as a first attempt in learning. It's an acronym that I use, fail. So I'm liking like how you just encouraging people to view failure as a learning opportunity as well. Who'd like to go next between Vanessa and Nelson? Just quick comment to.
I was really hoping to close with my many puns, and it's not working. It's not working for me today. But I don't know. John has just put a quote. I was trying to Google very fast, look for a quote that would end with a bang. It's not worked again. So I will just have to take it off the top of my head. Again, thanks to GMIN for this opportunity. I've judged before, and I must say these are very interesting and innovative ideas, especially the fact that you're looking to ensure that they do make a social impact for the students and their communities and whatever it is that they have come up with. I liked that, you've given them a chance to learn how to pitch now. Anywhere in the world you can meet with someone, either in the SGR or in the Easy Coach or in the Matatu, and someone could just ask hi Gaida, what are you doing? What do you like to do? And you have your 1 minute of fame to really sell whatever it is that you're passionate about. And I'm glad you have all presented whatever it is that you're passionate about here. For me, what I'd say is never stop and never settle. This is just to guide you in ensuring that regardless of whatever obstacles you face, regardless of whatever anyone may tell you, just don't stop until you actually get to the end of your goal. You guys are young. You have enough time. Some of us, even if I was to start something right now, it would possibly take me a couple of years, because I have to juggle between life and work and then my passion. For you guys, since you already know exactly what you want to be or want to do, use this opportunity, especially with help from your mentors. And you have a WhatsApp group. I'm sure it's a very nice family. I think someone typed this has been a nice, this is the best family I've been part of. I think that was Juliet. So use your family well. And just one last thing from YSK, I'd be happy to say that I think about 10 of your projects, or 11, not 10, oh my God, they're 15. I think except for Afya System, because they participated last year, I'd be happy to give the other projects an opportunity to participate in the YSK National Exhibition for this year. It's also going to be a virtual exhibition. I think I'll just share more information with you guys later, but I think for the judges, we normally hold an exhibition each year, and this exhibition is just a bit or an opportunity for the students to showcase their scientific talents and demonstrate their potential for a big platform for them to just show the world what they can possibly do. Like Jimin, we try very much to link these guys up with potential partners or sponsors. So I'm glad that they already have, I think they're possibly 2 steps ahead of the other schools that are participating. So at least once we are done with our judging of the project abstract evaluation process, I'll reach out to these guys just to submit something so that we can have them in the system. And we'll also work hand in hand with Jimin to ensure that you're able to be well prepared for the exhibition come October. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that's been an exciting opportunity to get to see what young people are doing outside there. I'm always passionate to see what young entrepreneurs are thinking about. Sometimes when you've done a lot of innovations, you tend to think that you know everything. But when you listen from young people, their perspectives sometimes tends to make you feel a little bit interesting to see the other side of the circle, which is important. I want to thank your team because I think most of you have been very eloquent. Your communication skills has been good. I can feel that there's been a lot of ongoing behind the table. And I think when you go back to your schools, one thing I've learned is that if you go and sit on that knowledge, it won't help you. Right? If you have been assisted even to form clubs that you can be chairing in your schools, to help other people understand what innovations are, to share with your colleagues what you've gone through, it will stick in your heads. And if your innovation wasn't not the best, or it didn't attract much attention, you could still work on something else using the skills that you've gained and still become successful. So I like the Edison Pro, if they would like to get in touch with me in the next stages, I'll continue providing for them feedback until they're able to sell to their first client, or a few schools will have piloted. So I know that Jamie has my email and everything. If they'll be piloting further, I'll be there to assist them in the process going forward. Otherwise, I want to appreciate an opportunity to work with you here, and in the future, I'll be available to assist you when possible.
I forgot to add something important. You guys, you know, last year's GMIN finalists were YSK's overall winners for last year. That's Keith. I think I've seen Keith in the chat somewhere. I don't know if Maxwell is on as well, but these two, can I call them incredible gents, managed to win our overall prize. So they also get 2 scholarships to Strathmore University for a STEM course of their choice. So guys, you know, GMIN has actually done a lot for you to give you this opportunity to start. So just work as hard. I think Keith is also readily available to assist you guys where need be in terms of mentorship. If I'm wrong, Keith, you can just, of course, correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, I hope that you guys would also follow in the same path as Keith and his teammate. And I hope that, you know, you guys can be able to scale the heights that they have and wow, raise the GMIN flag high. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much, Nelson, for those kind words and encouragement. And yes, like as Vanessa mentioned, Keith is part of the GMIN family, and also him and Maxwell were the overall winners. And Keith actually said, yeah, he would love to mentor the next generation. So yeah, we'll work on the logistics of doing that link up, even with Nelson linking up with the other team. Yeah, so we'll work on that. But thank you so much, judges, for your time, for that feedback. Yeah, at this moment, I want to close, but I feel like I'm going to close just like that in a flat way.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
So besides the special awards that Richie had shown you, we'll also be giving certificates to all of you who participated. And I think even as you grow, you will continue to realize it's always good to show, you know, you've participated in things. And that is one way we ensure you can go somewhere and say, when I was in high school, I developed these skills by participating in this program. So hopefully by the end of today, I will have sent you, we'll send the PDF so you can go to your nearest cyber, get some really nice embossed paper and print it out. If you still need us to pay for that 30 shillings to print it also, you can inbox me and I'll pay for it. I won't complain much. So I'm really just happy to have interacted with all of you. And Richie, if we have a poll, you can launch it before you close off.
Okay, I've just launched the poll, and I'm seeing comments. You can keep commenting. I'll just read the comments as way to close. So Kelvin from TME Education. Oh, that wasn't about. Okay, so Kelvin from TME Education, who's also a mentor, has said that he's willing to conduct a free Arduino workshop to any teams that are interested in learning about Arduino. That's great. Thank you so much, Kelvin. That's really thoughtful of you. And
there's a lot of generosity today. Everyone is giving.
Yeah. And that's what we like to see. Yeah, like the collective, the community, the communities, and as I said, like we're part of the family. So I think like this will start up like things in the near future. Just from like a bit of the impact, like the young kids that we've worked with in the earlier years have been able to work on their projects, shift, pivot, and now they're launching companies, they're hiring people. So there's that potential as well, but also just that continuous effort to keep learning, I think is the most valuable thing. Like it's not just about like launching a business, but also that aspect of like you just want to continuously learn and seeing like how you can improve yourself and use those skills to improve the community and Kenya. And yeah, it's about waving the African flag high. Yeah, GMIN is an organization that represents all the visions for the young African youth, and that's what we hold. So like all these partnerships, all this collaboration we do is to really uplift Africa as a whole. Yeah. Let me see if there are any other comments.
Someone asked about the special awards that were in the WhatsApp group. So yeah, I think it's important to recognize, like, since we began on 19th, like there's been people who've always been entertaining us, like we've gotten to solve riddles, tongue twisters that were very, very twisting to my tongue. We've had people who are keeping time because we had like a curfew for 9 p.m. when people want to rest and no noise in the groups, and people were ringing bells and just reminding people to go home. Others were very active during the sessions. They kept our facilitators engaged, and they could answer questions. And I think, yeah, I don't have that list with me because you guys filled my WhatsApp with so many messages, but I think we have Manal, Gaida, Preslida, Wycliffe. Who else did I forget? Shadrach. Shadrach, yeah. If someone, I'll retrieve that list from my WhatsApp, and I'll send you gifts. This will be surprises. Some of you will receive airtime to buy bundles to continue, finishing up on your research. Some of you will receive some swag from Jimin alongside your prototyping materials. And yeah, it will be a surprise. I'm not forgetting you. I'll definitely send your award. So thank you for keeping us entertained and engaged. I can see Gaida smiling. You'll get your award. You've been one of the most active. It's a fact. I hope that was satisfactory. Richard, you're raising your hand. Do you have a question, a burning question? You're muted if you're speaking. Oh, you said no. Someone is asking, can they be Jimin mentors? Yes, in future you can. So even someone said they can't wait to come back as a mentor. You see, Emmanuel was with us only in 2018. And obviously you will have to show that you've gained enough skills. And one advantage you'll have that you've already gone through the process, so you understand how to help others. So we're definitely looking forward to you getting there so that you can come back and mentor.
Yeah, but also you can just start mentorship from where you are in your community, in your school, in your religious centers, even just in your neighborhood. I think Jimin is not the only exclusive opportunity you can offer mentorship for, but I think just starting small. I think even Keith helped the team that from Kanga, like he mentored like the team at his school. So don't think like it's just like at Jimin that you can mentor anywhere you can, like, because it's very much needed. You can even mentor your younger brothers and sisters who are in primary school as well. Yeah, so that you can gain that experience and know like what mentorship is really about. But definitely, we would love to have everyone come as a volunteer or a mentor at some point in our program. Okay, with that, I think the polling is over. Yeah, and if you're still doing the poll, just raise your hand real quick so that I don't end it. If you're still okay, I don't see anyone. Is there any hand raised?
I can't see any.
Okay, so I'll just end the poll then. Yeah, so with that, we finally conclude the virtual camp. Thank you again. And I hope you all have a great rest of the afternoon and a great weekend. Thank you for taking time. I know like a 3-hour online event is not easy sitting down, but really appreciate like your dedication and commitment to just being part of this event. Thank you from